Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy these new and fancy overlays I got from Pretty Nerdy on Fiverr. He was nice enough to do such a wonderful job with these commissions. Or proper nerdy, I mean proper nerdy, not pretty nerdy. He's probably also pretty. I don't know. But welcome to Ashes of the Last War, a live Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign set in Eberron. I am, of course, Obsidia, everybody's favorite Death Knight, and I am the game master for this campaign. I'm so glad you all have decided to join me. I hope you have fun. This is our second episode. I was foolishly forgetful in actually doing a Nightbot command to activate the link to my YouTube for this specifically. But if you want to check out the first episode of the campaign, there is our YouTube channel for this campaign specifically. So please go check it out if you missed it out. I will do my best to upload every VOD of every stream there. So now that I've got my beautiful self out of the way, I will pass it over to yonder players. We will start off with Yulia and work our way across and then down. Oops, can you repeat that? I forgot to unmute you.
Oh no!
Sorry!
That is okay. Hello everyone from Obsidian's Twitch. My name is Yulia, and when I'm not an Elven Princess Knight, I am a Swift Stride Wizard, cat girl by the name of Paige. You can find me on both Twitch and Twitter at Royal Knight VT, and I'm really excited to be here. Thank you again for having us.
Always lovely to have you, Yulia. Sit.
Alright, so this is the second time I've been a girl this week.
But always a cat.
I am Sif VTuber. I'm a living suit of armor. I do art, I play games, I like animations, I like D&D. You can catch me on Twitch and Twitter. I got two quick announcements real quick. First off, I was gifted a FemSif model recently by a lovely artist known as Loon, aka Mommy Mana, and was rigged by Riz, aka Carbonite. They have a raffle on their Twitter that you could probably find through my Discord or through my Twitter, where, you know, you could have a chance to get a model, and if you don't win, you could just buy a model, because money does things. My second announcement really quick is I have a birthday stream coming this Saturday. I will put out more info probably tomorrow or Friday, because life do be busy, but yeah, those are my two big ones.
Oh my gosh, we got a Sif night birthday up in here?
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal, but
no.
I'd be happy if y'all could come.
Oh, I gotta turn the volume up, I think. My bad. God damn, I'm out of it.
I can't explain that story to you, Litro, in front of and on Twitch. That's anti-TOS.
Whoa! Speaking of anti-TOS, let's go, Litro.
Hi, I'm actually here instead of last time where I was invisible. You all just didn't notice me. Hi, I'm Litro the Bronze. I am a one-quarter bronze dragon, but also a royal knight who is trying to rebuild his kingdom. So if you want to help me out with that, feel free to move in over to my kingdom and help me rebuild it and watch me run Dungeons and Dragons and play RPGs and stuff. But for tonight, I am the lovely Kliff d'Eberron, and I hope to serve all of you quite well.
Thank you, Litro. Yes, you guys should definitely go check out Litro. He is a DM as well. He DMs a campaign on Fridays with literally everybody else in this party but me. So you want to see the more in action in a post-apocalyptic wasteland of gay love, be sure to go check out Litro's stream on Friday for the Mistwalkers campaign. Maribelle.
Oh, that's me. Hello, everyone. I'm Maribelle. I am a Hobbit VTuber, and I like to do comfy cozy streams. So we do book readings, we do crafting. I will enunciate better this time. We do cooking streams.
Less cocaine, kind of cringe.
Yes, yeah. No cocaine streams. We do cooking streams. And the occasional, video game as well, just to spice things up a bit. So yeah, if comfy vibes are your thing, definitely stop on by. You can also find me relatively frequently on Litro's channel, as I am part of the Mistwalkers and the Comet Tales campaign. So definitely check them
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for introducing yourselves and for those wonderful cocaine streams. I have one announcement for tonight. In addition to the fact that we have these sweet new overlays, I wanted to remind everybody that for the entire month of June, I am working with the New York Stock Exchange to be raising money for Trans Lifeline, a trans suicide prevention and support network. This is going to be the last stream that I do as a part of the campaign, because the campaign will finish tomorrow. So if you could, please go check out the Tilify link, as well as spread the word about it. You can type !charity in the chat to bring it up, or you can click the donate button on my Twitch About Me section, and it'll take you right to the Tilify. We've raised over $2,000 so far, and you'd love to see it. Thank you all so much for opening up your hearts and giving towards this great cause, especially in these trying times. So I really appreciate it. Now, with all of that out of the way, we will do a brief recap about what went down last week. So our plucky group of adventurers found themselves through disparate paths winding up on a lightning rail, a fantasy train that runs off of magical energy. Going to the far-off city of Greywall in the Kingdom of Drome, a kingdom of monsters and intrigue, little known and little understood. The heroes were all assembled under the auspices of an organization known as the United Houses Directorate, a coalition of fantasy corporate entities seeking contract adventures to accomplish ad hoc tasks. They were all hired to go to the city in wake of doing some kind of investigation. They experienced varying levels of the class experience of their respective backgrounds before they finally joined up, had some hijinks together, and then arrived in the city itself. For our cats, it was quite an experience to leave Sharn, the city of towers, and the almost claustrophobic urban landscape that it was for the first time in their lives, but they have now found themselves in the wide open greens of the rest of the world. Upon arriving in Greywall, they went to the House Thrashk precinct, which is the nominal recruiters for this particular assignment, who are also the law enforcement entity of a area called the International Enclave within the city of Greywall, where people from kingdoms and lands beyond the Kingdom of Drome can exist within the overall jurisdiction of the monstrous territory. There they encountered Chief Inspector Urlach Kronzahar, an orc woman who was very sleep-deprived and very stressed, as she explained upon them accepting the contract itself, that several monster children, as well as one monster adult, have been kidnapped within Greywall, and they have been unable to figure out who did it or where they are. This has led to the local Greywall monstrous authorities demanding the recovery of these people, and they've been finally given a timeline that if they don't have any results in the next 3 days, they are going to bust into the International Enclave, and unfortunately, due to racial tensions, blood will flow. The merchants and humanoids from the kingdoms that reside there have begun flooding in mercenaries and sellswords and wand wielders to protect their corporate interests, and this is invariably going to lead to conflict. So the party has been hired to try and solve this because of the lack of confidence the Greywall authorities have at this point in House Thrashk's investigation. The party decided to head out first to the Thalanis Grove, an area of the city where the Fey residents happen to reside, where they were looking for the most recent crime scene, where a group of, where a dryad sapling and her named Jasmine, and her best friend, a fairy dragon named Glimmer, were kidnapped during the night, 3 days before the quest. Her hearth tree was cut down, which means that if she is not attuned to a new tree in the next few days, she will wither and she will die. This has put the real ticking clock on this investigation and why it has been risen to such urgent matters. After the party finally befriended a few of the local Fae, they discovered the Dryad Grove, where our intrepid Jubilee engaged in a bit of halting Elvish as a mutual form of linguistic communication with the Dryads there to try and learn a bit more about what went down. Ultimately, after calming some of their nerves, they've determined that the tree was hacked down by a man-made axe, most likely, rather than some other kind of magic, and that there were what appeared to be metal boot prints worn by a humanoid of some sort that had been pressed in when the hacking happened. This further eliminated potential causes of the kidnapping, as well as they investigated a fire that had started within the Fey Grove, which the area there had not grown back, and upon doing some arcana and detecting magic, they were able to determine that the magic at work there was divine magic that, thanks to Cess's fact that she goes to church every Sunday to be a part of the community, determined was not from somebody adhering to the sovereign host religion. This has further started to cause the gears to turn in the party's head and suspicions to arise about the Church of the Silver Flame, which has a history of intolerance towards certain supernatural and monstrous beings. And so with that, the party had some more information, and they have several more leads to follow up. And so we finally begin, with the party now departing the Tethlonis Grove after investigating things, and emerging once more into the city of Greywall. The first thing that will surprise you is it's nighttime, which is very strange, because when you went into the Tethlonis Grove, it was about 4 p.m., but it is very clearly nighttime with stars in the sky right now, and actual street lanterns as opposed to mage lights are illuminating the streets. What do you do?
Is there any way to actually know the exact time?
Do you have that 1 feet?
No, but I don't know.
It's nighttime.
Arcane
It's dark
stuff,
and
it
it's
could be
nighttime.
A magic clock?
Yeah, if you don't have a magic clock on you, it is dark and nighttime.
It is rather late. Well, no other better choice than sneaking into a church then at night, I suppose.
How crowded are the streets, Obs? How many people are out at this time of day?
It's
Time of night,
especially where you are, it's not super crowded. Maybe a dozen people are walking around at any given time in your area. Most people, of course, keeping the Fey Grove a wide berth.
And how big is religion in this society, in society in general? Like are night communions a popular thing? Because they are a thing, I know, but how many people often go to them?
Well,
in today's world?
you have make a religion check. You go to church every Sunday. Make a religion check.
I go there for the community. We have a nice little potluck on Sundays.
We go for the free food.
Yeah, the weekly coffee hour.
I bring some lasagna. 6.
No, you really emphasize the fact that you go for the community. Some of those sermons are not really, pique interest to you. So you know that there was mention that the main religion of Greywall is the Dark Six, the deemed to be more feral, dark twin of the Sovereign Host, which you were always instructed is kind of a bad religion for bad people, but it's the main religion out here. You don't know much about it besides that, as a good Sovereign Host girl, you're supposed to stay away from it. No good goes down that path.
I used to say.
A memory just comes to mind.
Yeah.
Didn't we see as we were entering the city a very messy orc in full armor?
You saw several half orcs and humans and stuff walking around the international area as basically guards / police from House Thrash.
I'm sorry, my memory is rough because it's out of game, been a week.
Yeah.
But in game, it's only been a day. Would you say he was dirty as if he was running through a forest, or
no? He was just
running through the streets.
His uniforms were just everybody in House Thrash's force was dirty because they've been basically running wild trying to keep the local residents in line as tensions are rising with the monster part of the city. So
Okay.
everybody is basically sleep deprived, overworked, and undershowered.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I couldn't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kliff is going to turn to the rest of the party and go, all right, well, one, let's just walk and talk. And two, I have a rough plan. Oh, there's a dog in the street. Hello, dog. I have a rough plan. Feel free to chime in if you dislike anything about it, but here's the idea. I'm going to turn Paige invisible and go in and talk to them, see what I can get out with just some civil conversation. Meanwhile, Paige will sneak in through the window or whatever, through the back, look for any possible clues or anything. Meanwhile, Sis and Jubilee, I feel like you are not the most quiet type, for what you shall do instead is wait while Paige snuck in case anything goes wrong, and if anything does go wrong, that's when you rush in, grab them, get out, maybe punch a face or two if needed.
All right, Kliff, sweetie, are you open to constructive criticism?
That is what I said earlier, right?
That idea is fucking stupid.
I knew there was something I liked about you.
I'm just a girl trying to be honest. And honestly, I think that idea is a load of bull. If we're assuming that the bad guy is at the Silver Flame, going at nighttime where there might not be any people might be a bad idea. Because we'd be separated, they'd have either you or Paige by yourselves, and I'm not exactly keen on letting my sister walk into a death trap in the middle of the night by herself. And also, it would be better if we were to interrogate.
She would be near the entrance where you could be able to rush in, and moreover, she would be invisible. And if I go in, I am. Well, let's say I am not really the racist type of typical target, so I feel like I would be able to talk more freely.
Out of character, does Kliff still have his fucking cat ear illusion on right now?
No, I got rid of those at the end of the last.
Listen,
he is more culturally appropriate, but still sticking out.
I think this plan has got a lot of conditions that it relies on. If you or Paige are caught, and we're supposed to be investigating, the Silver Flame could probably, I don't know, say something bad about the cops, and that lead gets closed. I think we still got 2 more leads to investigate. We should probably follow up on those and get some more information. I mean, we did narrow it down, and it's a pretty. I ain't gonna lie, a big part of me wants it to be the Silver Flame, but a job's a job. We should do it right, yeah.
I'm not saying we go and book them right now.
Yeah, but maybe not interrogate them in the middle of the night.
And all the clues we have so far point to them. We can at least take a look.
I would say if your aim is to speak to them all gentlemanlike, the gentlemanly thing would it would be to wait for business hours.
I'm almost
Isn't a church
inclined to
always
agree.
open?
Not necessarily. Some places of worship like to keep things quiet and lock and key, after dark. They've got some valuables or, other such fineries that they'd rather not have in public eye, during the nighttime.
I suppose we can go rest. I suppose I am simply just in a bit of a haste right now, knowing that there are children's lives on the line.
We've got about 3 days, all right? We
3 days before the mob comes in. That has nothing to do with the children that have been taken.
And what's happening. Listen, you don't have to tell me about how important children's lives are, but if we go and get ourselves killed or end up losing the trail because we're hot-headed, bad things can happen. All right, listen, trust me. I know what it's like to give into your emotions and do the first stupid thing that comes to your mind, but this ain't it, okay? Listen, if we go there and we get nothing.
Okay, very well. You simply.
I definitely think.
For my trickery, this is the trickery I had planned.
That's great, and you can prove your trickery later. But when you can prove your trickery without relying on putting my sister in danger, by all means.
I think also.
Paige, do you not think you can do it?
Oh, now don't put the poor girl on the spot like that, Kliff. That is not gentlemanly. Now, I understand that we do need to talk to these people eventually. I think that is absolutely 100% necessary. But the sooner we talk to them, the sooner they know we're on their trail.
I am not going to simply go after them and speak plainly to them. No, that
Well,
would be
no, but
idiotic.
if they know we're investigating and looking into these things, they'll soon be investigating into us.
That's not exactly what I had planned. I was going to more dance around it, not really touching the subject, and try and get them to bring it up rather instead. That is how.
Out of
best we get on
curiosity,
the topic.
how about doing that? What were you planning on saying to them?
Oh, simply that I seek the guidance of the gods, for I am a bit lost in my current occupation as an Orion, dealing with current racism at some of the stations, and knowing that they have dealt with such horrible things in the past. I figured such wise people can guide me to a better solution.
So you're saying that you'd be interested in joining them as a facade?
If it comes to that, maybe. But it was more along the lines of just seeking advice and seeing what I can dig up from the advice they try and give. Typically, people tend to let things slip a bit more when they feel like they're in a superior spot.
That is true. Everyone has really good points. But I do agree with my sister. Maybe we should wait until morning. But if anything comes from that, or if it doesn't work out, we'll have a plan B.
Okay.
Well,
I am not going to force people to do whatever they do not want. My apologies. But still, I thought I'd go ahead and put the plan out there for us to discuss it.
So where would you guys like to go next?
Speaking of plans, I had an idea, and if it sounds stupid, I'm open to constructive criticism too. But if you call it stupid, I will fucking deck you. I was looking over these leads again, and she pulls out these pieces of scrap paper she fucking stole from the captain's office that she's been doodling on, and there's one that looks like a really fancy bar, and it's like the fucking bird chick, yeah, the Larissa. Yeah, she worked at a monster tavern, yeah? I mean,
right.
Those things are bustling at night, maybe more people are there, more people will have known what happened to her, I don't know. I know if we go to the inn during the day, there ain't gonna be that many people to ask, yeah?
It might seem less suspicious if we go there now.
Yeah, that's, sis, that is not a stupid idea. I think it's better than what Pinky here came up with. So, why don't we, before we call it an evening, we check out that inn, see what the scuttlebutt's about.
I agree with this. Although you may want to send a message to your retainers. They're likely still worried after you didn't even talk to them after getting off the train.
I'm sure they're fine. They know how to handle my luggage.
You guys know from where you currently are, it would be about a 20-minute walk to get to the Bloody Cairn, the monster bar. You're about 20 minutes in one direction away from the square where Cleotrixia was taken, and you're about 20 minutes in another direction heading towards the international settlement where the Bloody Cairn is.
Not too far of a walk, then.
How do we want to go about asking for information?
I mean, what are the usual suspects? I mean, there's always the tavern owner, the guy managing the tap, the loudest, most usual party there, co-workers. I mean, she was an entertainer, right?
I would say the proprietor would be the first place to start.
Absolutely, and I ain't so good at talking the business talk, so I think Kliff could do some real good there.
I can certainly try.
I have a way with words.
Says the wizard.
She knows words. You have a way with them. She brings words to the party. You're the one who takes words home at night.
She knows SAT words.
Grandiloquent.
Some people find a sharp mind an attractive one.
Okay, so if you guys want to go to the Bloody Cairn, it's about a 20-minute walk.
While they're walking, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
Could I get a general vibe of the people around? Are they at all? Because time has obviously somehow passed,
Yeah.
or it's just gotten darker. Does anyone else seem surprised by it?
No, everybody seems to be going about their lives perfectly fine. People, the only thing that seems off to people is when they look at Kliff, but aside from that, like, people just going about their nightlives. Apparently, a lot of them are. Most people in the city have dark vision, so they all are basically interacting at the nightlife, much like they would during the day life.
Okay.
They do tend to draw many eyes.
At some point during their walk, could Paige kind of motion or like just approach someone really quickly and just ask what time it is, or what time they think it is?
Sure. As you try and flag somebody down, odd or even, young Paige.
Let's go with even.
The person looks at you and they say something in Goblin to you. They're like,
Oh. No, I'm sorry. What time is it? Time?
Corky?
Do I hear this, or did she run off on her own?
You guys can be as
imagine
close to Yulia as she wants you to be.
Yeah, I'd imagine she would not have gone that far.
I apologize to this person and saying Goblin. And I basically translate.
The Goblin who's speaking Goblin looks up at you and goes, "Oh, it's about time, somebody start talking sense amongst these people. What? So you want to know what time it is? Why is she in our city if she doesn't even speak Goblin?"
They're a student. Simply, we have been in the Fey Forest, and well, you know how they like to play tricks. We lost track of time. If you could be so kind and actually tell us, we would be most grateful.
The Goblin does one of those kind of low whistles as you say you were in the Fey Forest. He goes, "Ah, well, I see you must be new here. Yeah, we try to avoid that place. The Fey can be nice enough whenever they're left to their own devices in their own area where you don't have to go." Yeah, but it's about 8 p.m. right now.
Thank you. Greatly appreciated. And I toss him the silver.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Humi, and I love to see it.
Now I basically translate back to Paige.
So about 4 hours went by between when you went inside of the Fey Woods and when you left it.
Oh, goodness. That is a terribly long time.
Quite a discrepancy.
Everybody who has Arcana can make a check right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Hot damn. Yeah, a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Give me a second. I need to pull up my character sheet. But I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Paige will succeed if it's just if anybody else also wants to have the self-righteousness of knowing they also passed. So Paige, yeah,
You're
you
doing
actually.
great. You're
I did
doing
that as
great.
a joke. I don't actually have Arcana.
Yeah, I was about to say you actually have to have Arcana for this. This requires formal knowledge.
I was just curious.
But Paige, you know that there is an anomaly associated with the Fey Wilds of basically chronological incontinence. So time can flow differently within any space that is thoroughly associated with the Fae than with normal reality. So that's probably what occurred, is that just time flowed differently from when you went into the Fae Wilds and when you left.
Which is exactly what she's studying in school.
Yep. This is
So her-
this is planar cosmology lessons.
Oh my goodness. Her eyes are like starting to sparkle a bit. She's like fumbling through her little knapsack to pull out her textbook and jotting something down. Like, I've never actually witnessed this in person, but actually the forest transcended time. Something with the Fey magic. It's so interesting. I didn't think I'd actually ever see it.
You hear
Well,
her shout.
I'm thrilled to see you so happy, honey.
Yes, this is.
I suppose it is more exciting for you than us, considering that is your main field of study.
Yeah, it's kind of what I've been studying all this time.
For us, it's more we just missed lunch.
Listen, no, that's not entirely true. I myself, I some magic, but I study magic in a more practical way. Like how to slay your enemies, kind of practical.
So morbid.
Got me a job.
It does seem a little bit more useful than time magic.
Whoa, no. Hold on, sis. We went in that place, and now it's nighttime. Right? That's basically. Sorry, I'm still processing all the words you say. You know, I know when you get excited from school and you explain this all to me. You know it takes me a bit to catch up, but what we did, we went in and the sun was here, and we came out and the sun was gone. Right?
Right? Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. It's so weird, but it's true Fey magic.
Yeah, but it's still time, and that's something you could do one day. So that could still be useful. I mean, weren't there like whole stories about like people who worship the sun or whatever? If you could be a god. My sister could be a god. You get that?
Says please
Let me ask you this. You know those moments where you're on a deadline and it's just before the deadline and you're like, oh, if only I had like this 1 hour was stretched out to 4 hours. Do you think you could do that?
Well, eventually, yes. I hope to accomplish something remotely close to that.
Oh, in that case, I think you will be terrific.
Oh.
So many people will want your service. I already know.
Even with battle strategies, your enemy can't fight back if time stopped.
That's correct. You're right. Thank you all. I needed that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Aww. You want
Also,
Also,
the expression, "Oh, if only I could live in this moment forever." You could actually do that.
don't worry, sis. We always got time for you. Wink. Anyways.
You want the magic ability to make 1 hour turn into 4? What? We call that a Monday.
Hey.
Goddamn goblins always creeping in on other people's business.
I'll never have a late assignment again.
Okay, so yeah, with this temporal realization, you guys continue walking and you arrive outside of the Bloody Cairn. It's a fairly mid-sized tavern. It looks to be probably about a 2-story tavern. The lights are on inside. There does not seem to be any music coming out of it, but yeah, it's got like a window, which is pretty grimy.
And the little locket around my neck that has my house symbol on, I'm just going to go ahead and like turn that around so it's not facing outward.
And there is a sign in front of it that shows a rock out of the ground, and it is painted red on the tip and dragging down.
This looks like the place, I assume.
Oh, shall I walk in? All right, let's just go in. And I lead the way in.
All right. As you enter, there is behind the bar. You see a blue tiefling with an eye patch, and he is currently reading a book. And then the only patrons that seem to be here is a table of 4 bugbears who are all, just kind of, they look to be probably after some kind of labor. They might be, people who do the train, what's it called? Like stevedore stuff, or teamster stuff with like the unloading of things. So they look like they're probably busy, coming off of like a long shift at the lightning rail station, and are now just having some drinks together. Well, that's the only people here. There is a stage. It is currently empty, and that is what you enter.
If any of the bugbears look at me, I give them like a 2-finger wave from my temple as I walk towards the bar.
Yeah, the bright pink human entering the bar, the bugbears will kind of look at you, squint their eyes, and so you flipped around your house thing, but you still have your House Thrash badge on?
Yeah.
Okay, so they see that, they kind of grunt and go back to just talking to each other in Goblin. It's just totally mundane things, nothing terribly interesting.
Yes, I know. I am amazing.
Is anyone following the ever adorable Kliff in?
Yes, I believe we are all following.
Okay.
Nah, Jubilee's gonna come in later.
Fashionably late, as always.
Yeah.
She probably just doesn't want to be seen with me.
So, when you walk in, the tiefling will look at you and kind of go, in common, with a slight accent to it. It'll be like, it's not every day we see one of the Thrashkin here. I thought you guys kind of gave up on this city at this point. I already told everything I knew to the team who came in previously.
Yes, well, we are actually here in case there are any details they may have overlooked. Would you be so kind, my lovely person, to go over the details of what happened a week ago?
He sighs and puts his book down.
I know it must be hard for you, and it's not what you imagined for tonight, but you being, I know, a very perceptive person, connecting well with people, I'm sure you've seen many things that could be of help.
He goes, all right. Like I told the investigators previously, Larissa has been performing here for months now. Fairly typical, harpy singer story. She's got a nest over in the crofts, deeper in the city. She comes in, she performs every night. She's talented enough, but I think she has delusions of grandeur about her capability, and she would perform. People seem to like her well enough. Nobody really seemed to hate her. She's got that particular harpy charm about her, as he kind of raises one of his eyebrows that's not behind the eye patch towards you, and he kind of twiddles it a bit. He goes, so she's a few feathers short of a wing, but she's nice enough. Seemed like a good kid. She finished her set about a week ago. Left, walked outside. That was the last I saw of her.
Were there any new listeners to her song that night? Someone who may have gotten up mid-performance and left before she did?
Not that I recall. She changed in the back room, and it's mostly where I keep the casks and everything. But I let her change back there, so she has some privacy to herself. And then she got up. She usually could attract a pretty good crowd. Things aren't quite as lively here with her disappearance. I have to find a new act to replace her, but I don't know. It's one of those things where people in Greywall, everyone kind of knows each other. You know, you've got clans, you've got packs, you've got tribes. Everybody's, you know, got some kind of knit together. Well, except for really Larissa. She doesn't really have anybody. But you know, I saw some of the usuals. That's about all I can say.
You said she thought herself quite grand. Did she ever brag about any fans that may have been following her?
No, not especially. She was always talking about how she wanted to leave one day and make it big and go perform in Sharn or some other such place. You know, that's a world and a life away for somebody like her. But you know, it seemed like her biggest fan at the end of the day was always herself.
And you said you knew where her nest was. Could you give us directions to that?
Yeah, sure. Most of the harpies reside in the same croft space. He kind of goes, do you have a map or something?
I have some paper here. Do you know the usual route she may have taken?
Yeah, she fucking flew. I don't know. It's a level of dimensions of movement that I'm not really used to.
Fair enough.
So he indicates on a map. Basically, we'll say it is. If you look at this place as like a diamond shape, where you are is the closest to the international settlement. The grove is the farthest away from the international settlement. To the left of the city would be where the town square, where Cleotrixia was taken. It'd be the far right of the city, where he indicates the Harpy Croft space is.
I look over at the bugbears before looking back at the barkeep. Were any of them there on one of the show nights?
No. Hey! Croc Reed, were you here when fucking Larissa played last? There he goes, the goblin. No, I was with the wife that night. You know, she was fucking on my ass for doing too many late shifts, and I say this is what I need to do to put food on the table for all the kids. But all right, I don't really care that much. I was just this fucker was asking. And you know, he switches back to common and goes, "Yeah, it doesn't seem like it."
Can I ask? I know these are many questions, and I do apologize for it. I am simply just trying to cover up all the bases that may have been missed. Can you just tell me your opinion on what may have happened?
My opinion? Fuck. I don't know. Part of me feels like Larissa, maybe, you know, she finally decided to chase those fucking dreams and just decided to drop everything. She's an impulsive girl at the best of times and never really thinks things through, so I wouldn't be fucking surprised if she just, you know, decided one day to fly off into the sunset. And probably get burned. I don't know, but other than that, you know, sometimes things get a little rough here. Everybody has somebody except for her. You know, she's a kind of a blunt person. Maybe she just said something, pissed somebody off on her own time. I don't really know.
I get the feeling of that. Would you be okay if me and my companions here looked around?
Yeah, sure. I'll go fucking open up the Kesk space for you, and you know, check things out. I don't really care. You know, I got nothing else going on. And
Thank you.
he stands up and goes and basically unlocks a door to the back room, and then you know, you guys can see the rest of the place.
One final question for you, if you don't mind.
Jesus, where did you come from?
I enter without the less favorable of my colleagues. So, you said that she had some harpy charms, and I mimic that little eyebrow wiggle.
Yeah.
She charm anyone recently, if you catch my meaning? Anyone that we might have to look into, potentially?
I take it you, were y'all come from, you don't really have a lot of exposure to harpies. But, you know, part of what makes, like, generally, they're all very good performers. You know, if you spend enough time in any part of Drome, you're probably going to find a harpy performer somewhere. But they always weave a little bit of this, I don't know, this innate magic that they have about them. Makes their songs a little extra alluring. You know, they don't call them sirens for nothing. But, so it always makes the performances a little bit extra enthralling when they lay it on subtle like, and you know, can make it downright enrapturing if they put it all into it. But you know, people begin to notice that kind of thing.
And it seems like she may not have used that as much because you said people just kind of tolerated her.
Oh, people liked her as a singer. Her as a person, though, are two entirely different things.
Ah,
you know,
I understand.
Not every artist you should actually have an in-depth conversation with if you like their work.
Understood. Well, thank you.
What say we go check out the back? Was she may have... I'm blanking on the word right now, I'm sorry.
Flipped out.
Yeah, basically where she hung out.
Okay. Yes.
Y'all can do that. I'm gonna see about getting us some food and just chilling at the bar for a bit. I'm not exactly good at looking into the finer details.
Are you sure?
Out of character, Obs. I do have some things I want to ask this man, but I'll wait till party goes.
Okay. So does... I know that Jubilee and Kliff are going to go into the back. What about you, Paige?
She kind of glances over and gives a little worried look for a second to Sus.
Sis, listen, I'm not in the ring anymore. I'm not in weight control. I get to eat what I want now. And I'm going to try some authentic Droam cuisine.
All right, but just holler if you need me.
Yeah, don't worry. You know I'm not the type to start bar fights. I'm the type to finish them.
I know. All right, I'll go help them then.
Okay. As you three go into the back room, you order some food. You get it's a lot of meat in this authentic Dromish food you get. Apparently the residents of the city are very carnivorous as a whole. So you get some nice sausages and a nice little like slab of, I don't know, probably something akin to a cow, and like some potatoes and carrots, basically. Real hearty food. And as you are sitting down to eat it, we will go to the other three for a moment as they look around. You're in a back room.
Little bird, where did you fly to, little bird, little bird?
It is the back room of a tavern. It has everything that that entails a back room. There's like some food storage stuff. You see the tiefling go back, grab some food as he's going to make things. And there's big casks of beer and stuff. Make investigation checks.
I got a 16.
Oh, that was so close to 19.
11 for me.
Yeah, you guys are, none of you are investigators by trade, really. And so, as you are there, you see, it's hard to figure out like anything distinctive. It's been a week since she was taken, but our fair Jubilee notices one thing in this back area. You notice there's actually a hole in the wall back here that leads to the outside. It's not like a big hole. It's like probably like a peephole kind of thing. But you do notice that.
Just disgraceful.
And it has a view of an alley behind the bar.
That's a little disconcerting. Anyone want to check out the alleyway that connects to the other side.
Oh.
I'll go ahead and go. But before I do, I go ahead and I find a cork that's from a wine bottle. And I go ahead and shove it in, just in case anyone else gets an idea to be a peeping tom.
Okay. Sif, if I recall, you did intend on asking the tiefling some questions.
Yeah. First off, I did get food for the entire group, right? So that way, when they come
Yeah,
back,
sure.
they can have a little snack.
Sure.
How much is that, by the way, or is the house thing covering?
It's all covered by your traveling expenses for the Dragmart houses, so it doesn't matter.
Here's the thing, Obs.
You're trying to bribe him?
Because last session, Sess said that I said that for Sess, she would put her badge on the inside of the coat.
Yeah.
She's not gonna wear it out.
Yeah.
So she's gonna look up at what did the tavern keeper say? What did the bartender say his name was again?
He never said his name. You guys just start walking it in. The reports that you have says his name is Xavian.
Okay, got it. Okay, Sess could probably remember that. It's a fancy enough name. So now the Noxagon. I got a few questions that they might not be okay with asking. That cool with you?
He raises an eyebrow. Go on.
All right. First off, I need your name. It's common courtesy. I know. I apologize. My friends didn't really do that. You know, they don't keep it loose like me.
Xavian.
Xavian. Well, hi, I'm Sess. I'm gonna extend my hand for a handshake.
He bit reluctant at first, but then he goes in and shakes your hand.
A nice, firm handshake to be kind, but to let him know that I could beat the shit out of him if he pissed me off. Let go of the hand. I look back at him. All right, so now you and me, my friend Kliff, the pink-haired one, he doesn't get it like you and me. People aren't exactly a fan of natural traits. I doubt Larissa was any different. So, in your time working here, did you ever have to deal with anyone like that? Anyone who judged you for how you looked or acted?
He kind of grunts and goes, Not really here, The Captain Venomspite does a pretty good job of keeping the foreigners in the international enclave, not over here. So we don't see too many people like him around. Closest that usually makes it out here is probably that priestess of the Silver Flame. She comes out trying to proselytize, obviously to limited impact, but she seems to do her best to try and help around people, feed some of the less fortunate, etc., and then goes back. I don't know what kind of deal she has with Venomspite or the governor, but she's one of the only few people from the foreigners I see out there.
This help you say she does. Do you see much of it? Is it something in your local paper?
Nah, it's pretty minor. Most of the time, it's pretty insignificant stuff. She'll toss out some healing to people over in the lightning rail station. Some of the workers there. She'll make sure people brings out some food. I don't know how to say this, but she's kind of a dick. Even when she's being helpful, she has a real abrasive personality. Kind of like the other side of the Larissa coin.
Trust me, I know the type. I'm from Sean personally, and there's a lot of those talk down to try to help you kind of folk there. Listen,
you interact with enough hobgoblins in your day, you realize they all have a very blunt way of speaking that just really can grate on your nerves.
Oh man, it can be a lot, trust me. But you haven't ain't ever dealt with anyone suspicious like that. Larissa didn't complain. Any of your other coworkers, patrons. I'll be honest. Like I said, I'm from Sean. I'm not from around here. I don't know if you guys got to deal with the same systematic problems I do. But there's a potential that this crime could have been what's that word? Racially motivated.
I got you. Well, I hear how bad things are for you guys outside of Drome. I used to be a merc in my youth before I settled down here in Drome because you got enough of the fucking houses and kingdoms and shit telling you what to do, to making assumptions about you, and I just said fuck it. I'd rather go the Wild West, basically, and where people wouldn't think I was weird just because I happen to be hornier than most.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
He kind of
Just
makes a
message
slight
her.
smirk at that.
Well, listen. If you do see anything like that, let us know. I don't know what the police force are like around here, but we're external help, and to be honest, if it turns out that there are a few Silver Flame racists in town, I wouldn't mind, giving them a little trouble,
He goes, I got you. Yeah, we don't really have any issue with the flame. Fucking, I can't even think that I've seen a single person in the city who worships the flame. Yeah, there's probably people amongst the forwarders who do. It's their thing. But the flame isn't super popular around here. I can tell that they're probably got, they probably have that one priestess here because she's a hobgoblin, so it's like, close enough to the rest of us, I guess, for it to be more appetizing.
That affirmative action thing, I get you. How long have they been in this town for, the Silver Flame? Like the priestess, I guess, with her sect.
I'm gonna say the church was probably built maybe a year or so ago. She had it constructed. She's really the only person who works there, from what I gather.
Has anyone harassed her or any of the other patrons of the Silver Flame?
High Priestess Hecate does her best to isolate the good missionary whenever she comes into town to reduce potential conflict points and also reduce potential exposure to her.
Noted. Man, I tell you, this crime stuff is nothing like the pit fights. Way more complicated, way more thinking. I'd rather just get pointed at the bad guy and punch him.
If it was that easy, anybody could do it.
I guess that's the fair point. And off that information, Seth is just gonna shoot the shit with this guy for the bit until the rest of the party comes back. All
right, the rest of the party comes back. You guys see Seth shooting the shit with the tiefling. As you return to the main room, the door to the bar opens, and at that moment, Paige, you get struck with an incredibly acute headache and vertigo as you entered the room. And walking into this room, you see, the world around you begins to kind of blur and shift. It's hard to focus on any one thing specifically. There's just so much energy coursing around. And into this room, you see that there is a, she's probably about 5'6", fox shifter, wearing an immaculate Siren Archmage officer's uniform, with an 8-pointed star of golden metal on a high collared portion of the uniform, right at the neck. And she has it's all the green and black of Seer. She's got a big fluffy tail popping out of the back of it. She's got very refined green eyes. And she smiles at you, just absolutely glittering perfect teeth with canines. And there is a spell book on her hip. And as you see this, you then abruptly feel the vertigo slam into you all at once. And everybody now sees, walking into this room, a dirty, bedraggled fox shifter. Her eyes are bright red with bloodshot veins coursing through them to the center point. Her face is smeared in what appears to be gray and black dirt, as well as what is like some kind of rusty dust or stains across her eyes and mouth. She is wearing a green and black, basically tattered crop top that borders on scandalous, and a tattered slitted skirt. She is covered in more of that gray and red grime, and there is a large black tribal like bladed phoenix tattoo going from her left breast across her chest and up along her neck. And as she comes in, she flashes a smile of yellowed and jagged teeth that appear to be slightly oozing, and she's got a spellbook on her hip. At this point, Paige, Kliff, and Jubilee can make history checks.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'm usually good at it, but I only got a 13.
I got a 17.
I also got a 17.
And I suck at history.
Yeah, Paige and Kliff, you at least recognize this person. This is a notorious Siren war criminal from a group called the Ashbringers. And she has been given the name Harlequin, and she is famous for numerous terrorist acts and atrocities near the end of the last war. And she is worth 10,000 gold. Dead or
I
alive.
immediately like stop in my tracks, and I see Jubilee hasn't noticed yet, and I kind of like put like a hand on her shoulder to like stop her from keep walking forward.
Yeah, she's an infamous evocation wizard who can unleash massive destruction anywhere she goes. And she kind of saunters in. A terrorist walks into a bar, correct?
More or less.
Yeah, she saunters in, walks up to the bugbears, and they kind of look at her confused. And you see an orb appear behind her that then floats around her, pulls up the table, scattering their drinks everywhere, and slams it back down. And as the bugbears stand up, another orb appears in front of her, and this one is red like fire as it starts bouncing in front of them. And the bugbears kind of all back up and walk out of the bar, and she sits down.
I believe it is time for us to leave.
Paige is now suffering from a bit of vertigo, trying to reach her arm out to grab hold of the nearest thing, and if there's nothing there, she's probably tripped and crumbled to the ground a little.
I try and catch her before
I
she
would've-
falls down.
I got my sis.
But
I'm
yeah,
used to this.
Paige, you notice, like, now she looks the way I described everybody else, but she formerly looked the way I described just for you.
We need to go now.
But I haven't finished my meat yet.
Take the meat to go, darling. We're heading out.
Oh, okay, thank you, Xavier. You take care now. And I leave 2 gold pieces as a tip.
Actually, Xavier, would you like to talk to us outside?
Xavier is just kind of like paralyzed in place, and you see her. It's almost like comically the way she moves. As she sits down at this table, you see her head like slowly, and you hear her muttering something, and you begin to see like sparks flying from her, and you hear a very distinct like creaking, crackling noise, which anybody who knows prestidigitation knows that she is casting that as she's doing this. And she turns her head slowly to look at you guys and Xavier, and cocks her head to the side, and gives you that big, rotting smile. And
Smile back.
she
And I look over at Xavier once more and I was like, come, Xavier, just for a moment, then you can come back inside. And I kind of just like eyed towards the door.
she kind of laughs in this phlegmy cackle as she winks and blows a kiss at you guys, and you see before you a little pink heart with a little like chibi kitsune in the middle of it. And she then turns her head slowly back to the table, and her finger lights up with fire, and she just starts carving things into the table.
I whisper to Kliff, do you want to get out? Is that like your ex or something?
No,
Is
that
that
is a
why
war
he's
criminal.
embarrassed, Jubilee?
No, that is a war criminal, and we should leave immediately. And I'm trying to get the bartender to come with us so he does not end up dead the next morning.
I mean...
Anyway,
most people-
and I'm looking at the tiefling once more, like trying to like get him to come out with us. Is he any reaction from him? Or
Yeah,
is he
he's like
stunned?
he looks panicked. His one visible eye is panicked, and he
We
starts
actually-
inching towards you.
Yeah, we actually found a hole in your back wall. We thought you might
That's
want to
not-
take a look at it.
He goes, yeah, I'll go check that out.
Yeah, here, come with us. We are going outside as well.
Yep. As you guys start leaving, she holds out a finger, and a orb of blackness appears behind her, and you see faintly visible energy grab the bartender and pull it back towards her, just like yanking him by some kind of near invisible force. And she goes, "You didn't take my order!"
Oh, it'll only be a second, darling. Trust me. We would not want to love a lovely lady like you here alone. We are simply going to do a small amount of business, and then we will come
I
back
would
and make sure you
like-
get what you need.
Wine. Red wine.
Wine. That is in the cellar out back. Please, I will help the bartender get it.
She then takes her eyes off of the bartender, who is force grabbed next to her, and turns to look at you, Kliff. And she
Give her a
narrows her
smile.
eyes at you.
I'm gonna walk up to the table in reaction to Xavier being grabbed.
No, don't aggravate her. That would be foolish.
I walk up to her with like I'm holding like a bunch of meat in one hand. I'm still chewing on some, and I go, "Yeah, Xavier will get you a drink in a bit." Anyways, and she like kicks open the table and says, "So like you're an important person, yeah?" Munching on meat, just looking at her.
She slowly starts creaking her head back towards you from looking at Kliff, and she cocks it to the side. You know, the best way to describe it is if you watch Princess Mononoke, the way the forest spirits kind of twist their heads around, that's the way she moves her head as she turns to look at different people. It's always shifting from side to side. She goes, "You are either very brave or very, very foolish."
I'm just hungry, and you seem kind of cool. That's all. I mean, I don't know why everyone's afraid of you. I think we all got things in our past that can make people scared of us. Just speaking from personal experience. My friend's got something important to show the barkeep, so how about he leaves a bottle of red wine with us, and my friends can go show him the thing out back. Still munching on meat. This place has got some really good meat, though. Like you should try some. I think it might go good with the wine.
She kind of looks at you, and you see she kind of got that same like creepy smile up as she runs her tongue around her teeth, and you know she wipes up a little of the ooze as she's doing it. It's like her gums are just constantly bleeding is the effect. And as you get a closer look at her, that rusty stains on her is very clearly dried blood.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, that's why you can very easily immediately recognize that. She goes, "You know, that does look real good."
Yeah, Xavier, be a doll. Would you get us like a little what is it again, Paige? The charcuterie board? Like a little charcuterie board of this meat and like some red wine. If that's okay, I'll tip you extra. Don't worry.
Xavier is kind of like straining as he's being held in place, and she looks at him and goes, "You hurt the girl. and she then slams Avian into his bar.
Okay, maybe be a bit more gentle with him. He's retired. Give him a break.
Paige at this point is hovering right beside Cess, kind of holding her shoulder.
You're over by the door with the rest of us.
No way.
Don't leave your hand
I
there,
was
sis.
going
You're gonna...
to do a thing, and then now it's all gone. Okay.
So, yeah, Jubilee and Kliff are by the door. Now Cess and Paige are by Harlequin. The Xavier is slammed into his... You kind of hear him go, "Huh!" as the air was knocked out of his chest. And then you see him collapse like a marionette whose strings were cut, as the energy dissipates around him. And he kind of scrabbles at the floor for a bit before standing up and trying to grab some food and stuff together.
Right, do you come around here often?
She cocks her head to the side again as she creaks to look at a Paige now.
While she's distracted, I lean in a bit close to Jubilee and I whisper in her ear, I would highly suggest going to get someone who can actually do something about this. Quick as you can.
Right. I'll do my best. And I will, not stealthily, but just sort of nonchalantly back out and through the door.
Okay. As you try to back out, the door is slammed shut in front of you.
Oh.
And then it opens. And as you reach for it, she slams it shut again. And she does that. She does that cackle again, and then the door opens one more time.
I'm just gonna look back and have a smile, but it's that clearly annoyed mom smile. And just that's a very funny joke. Thank you.
With that 17 history check that I rolled on her, do I know any particular stories about this person?
Yeah, you know that she used to be a commander in the Syrian army during the war. It was the 7th Syrian army, called the Lightbringers, and they were she was served with distinction until her unit got massacred at some battle. It was a great victory for a lot of the kingdoms against Seir. Apparently, her army was going to be marching on Sharn as a part of a campaign to basically decapitate Brayland and push them out of the war. But everybody...
You said they got massacred. Massacred by what? Do I know?
Apparently, a wide coalition of all the different kingdoms got together. It's a very famous battle called the Battle of Seven Spears.
Okay. And was that the point where she snapped, or was there any other stories
Nobody knows,
about her losing anything, any particular big losses? Stories about her losing a lot? Do I know?
Yeah, apparently everybody in that Syrian army was killed. There were no prisoners captured during that battle, and despite claims of it being a total annihilation of the Syrian force, 7 members actually survived, which was only proven by the fact of in the following year they rematerialized on the world stage and were now much more hardcore in their prosecution of the war. And that's when they started calling themselves the Ashbringers. Everyone pretty much, had been they were the only group that was specifically listed in the Treaty of Thronehold as wanted criminals for the amount of atrocities they committed across all of Kuvare.
I must say, it is quite surprising seeing you here, considering what is going on. Might you have a reason?
She then turns from Paige to look back at Kliff. and goes, Drome isn't a part of Thronehold. This means I can be here and enjoy all of its delicacies.
Yes, but people do tend to visit quite a lot. And in fact, there's even I don't know if you know this, there's actually a convention for veterans actually in the city. I believe some of the people that you fought against might actually be here.
Her smile gets a little wider. It goes, oh, do I have to worry about you saying something?
Oh, not at all.
I didn't think there was anybody who wished me ill here.
No, if anything, I am trying to warn you. You would not want to be caught here, especially if those people were to just drop in, now would you? If anything, this is probably your best time to get out of here before some veterans come in and notice you and tell others. I mean, of course, I would never want to say anything. I am just a messenger.
You see a black orb materialize behind her, and as she puts her hand on the table and stands up, you see the table disintegrate underneath her hand, and then the orb disappears. And she
Where do you want
starts.
to place your glass of wine?
She starts sauntering over to Kliff.
Now, I know I'm attractive, but I'm afraid you're not exactly my type.
Oh, he's fucked.
Jubilee is actually going to step in front of Kliff and get between them.
Sess will also stand up from her seat.
Your friend is very rude.
I know. I have a lot of experience dealing with his rudeness. Unfortunately, not everyone is quite as accustomed to it. You'll have to forgive him for his unpleasant attitude.
Oh, I've never been renowned for forgiveness. But
While they're distracted talking to Jubilee, can I make a sleight of hand behind my back?
Sure.
All right. First thing I want to do is I want to cast Silent Image on the road outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, Minor Illusion as I make the sound of marching. As if they were to look out the window, they would see marching of a lot of soldiers. The same type of soldiers they probably kicked their butt in the war. Marching slowly down the road.
Rude. Alright, so make your sleight of hand.
Okay. Oh, I was on a 16 and then rolled over to a 3.
Pain.
Oh
So, she,
Do I get advantage because she's distracted by
no, she's not really that distracted. She's looking in your direction. Jubilee is standing in front of you. And she is a very experienced arcane practitioner. So she hears you casting, basically, or sees you casting, and she kind of laughs a bit more, and the black orb materializes behind her, and she proceeds to smash all of the kegs behind the bar and rip them through the bar itself. Xavier is ducking for cover, and then you see a single bottle of wine pulled out of the back room and fly into her hand. She goes, you know, everybody gets one. And she pats Jubilee's breastplate, and then we'll walk aside and leave. And you looked at your breastplate, there is that same heart with the chibi fox on it.
Once she passes by Jubilee's just gonna attempt to brush it off.
It is clearly an arcane mark that has been placed on your armor for now. It'll fade.
It'll wash out in the laundry.
Yeah, it'll fade in time. You know, as a fellow arcane practitioner, this is something it'll be around for just a couple hours.
But she walks out. She walks past us and walks out.
Yep, and she just leaves.
As soon as she does, Kliff is going to pass out and fall forward.
Oh my god, on my back.
Yep, you fall onto her back. Thankfully, she's really strong. You're really weak, so...
Kliff? Oh, gee. And I'm just gonna grumble, but, like, pick you up piggyback style. I think we overstayed our welcome, don't you think?
Yeah. We should probably head out, but, Xavier knows about the hole in the back now, so you can always patch that up.
Yes, we should leave, but give her a few minutes to walk away.
Yeah. You alright, sis?
No, not really. That was really scary. She looked different when she came in.
Different?
Yes. The moment I walked through the door, I had this strange headache. She looked different. She looked so put together. Some sort of 8-pointed star on her. She was wearing a uniform, a really nice one. Her teeth weren't bad or anything like that. It was almost as if I was looking at her from before.
I'm sure with someone as adept in the arcane arts as she may be, she can look however she wants to for any set of eyes.
Perhaps. It may have just been the headache talking, but I don't know.
Says, finally shoving the last piece of, like, I guess, like salami into her mouth. So, who was that?
Kliff said something about a war criminal?
Neat.
Yes.
And you just talked to her like you was having brunch on Sunday.
I mean, even if she was a war criminal, I mean, who isn't nowadays? The effects of that, the big war thing is still present, yeah? I think like most veterans you see are probably war criminals.
Yes, but she was a little bit more dangerous.
Oh yeah, no, I knew that if we fought her, we'd probably fucking die. I could probably tell that.
I'll probably explain it a little bit more. We should rest. I think that's best.
Yeah, Cliffy boy don't look so good. I don't think he can handle the meat here all that well.
No. He's got a delicate constitution.
Understandable.
12,
Anyways,
it's not that bad.
Too many macaroons, and just starts to walk out.
I leave 20 more gold pieces for Xavian to help with repairs.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of gashes and stuff from splinters and everything, but he's now sitting kind of clutching his knees amidst his ruined bar area.
I'm gonna walk up to him like Hulk to Ant-Man and like take the 20 gold out of my pocket and go, I hope this helps, buddy. This business don't get easy, but we don't stop either.
Yeah, his hand kind of shakily moves up and takes the money, and he kind of then pulls it back into himself. He was kind of just holding his knees.
Alright, hopefully... Oh, go ahead, Kliff.
I was just going to ask if Paige or Jubilee still wanted to check out behind where that hole was, since Kliff is passed out.
Yeah, I think she'd at least want to see real quick, if it's possible, just to see where the other side of it leads to, like what is in that alleyway.
Okay.
If it's like on the way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As you head into the alleyway, you can make investigation checks.
Sure.
Got a 22.
Hell yeah.
Ooh,
I know
way
Kliff.
better than mine.
Smarter than your average cabbage.
There we go. Yep, that's a 12.
All right. Jubilee. As you're looking behind this alley, it's a fucking back alley area. As you just kind of look around, it's dirty, everything seems to be kind of for the normal. But then you see near the end of the alley, where that like hole was, you notice that there is a series of scrapes, probably about 3 big scrapes at maybe, you're standing here, you look at Cess and Paige and stuff, I don't know, maybe a few inches above where their heads would be. You see a big scrape into the wall with, it appears to be some bloodstains in it.
Huh. Seems like some investigators didn't think to look up.
Yeah, this would probably be about 6'3" would be where the scrape is.
Can I figure out... I mean, I'm not that tall. I probably can't see all that well. But can I make some sort of educated guess as to what caused the scratch marks? Was it weaponry? Was it claw marks?
Make one of these 3 skills. Survival, nature, medicine.
I'm bad at all of them.
It definitely was not a weapon.
I will... Okay.
It does not appear to be a weapon-based thing.
I will do... You said nature was one of them?
Yeah, nature, survival, or medicine.
I will do nature.
If that doesn't work.
15.
Okay. You figure probably some kind of like talon? Some kind of like deep talon raking across that.
I have a feeling, I have a sneaking suspicion, folks. Our harpy was ambushed in the air. And I just sort of point to the claw marks.
Oh.
Goodness.
So you mean like something grabbed her out of the air, or like was she brought down? Cause like.
Hard to say, but whatever happened, she was putting up a fight to stay up.
Stay up. Those now that they're pointed out, those talon marks, they don't go anywhere in any specific direction, do they, Hobbs?
Yeah, they appear to be like they start at kind of the edge of the wall and they be pulling back, and there's bloodstains with the pulling back.
Well, I would say these markings, I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. And based off of scattered nerves from this evening, I suggest we come back to this place and look into it in the morning.
I
the
agree.
daytime, when the sun's up, we can also check out that other lead. Yeah, the Leotrixia, I think her name was.
Yeah, and Kliff here, and she's gonna sort of huff and adjust Kliff on her back. He ain't gonna be much use to us tonight.
Right. We've definitely earned our fair share of rest. It's been definitely a long day.
Let's head back.
So you guys head on back to the International Enclave?
Yes.
Okay.
Our inn was the Gold Dragon Inn.
Yep, you're at the Gold Dragon Inn. So,
Kliff, I want to see the real world. World got a bit too real for Kliff.
real world is scary and full of angry ladies. So yeah, you get back. The guards let you back in. And you head to the Gold Dragon Inn itself. It's looks to be about a 3-story building with bright lights coming through windows, but you look in the window, you can't actually see inside. It's just like brightly illuminated. And as you enter inside, you see that there is a beautiful lobby area with like a smoking fireplace, elaborate carpets, beautiful artwork on the walls, well lit by mage lights. You see that there are a few people relaxing. You see that there are some halflings running around, giving people drinks and food and stuff. There's a big half ogre wearing a a very large fitted suit, standing by the door, who has several like rings on his hands and stuff, and he looks at you guys as you enter and gives you a big nod, and a charming little immaculately pantsuited halfling woman comes up to you with a big smile and goes, "How can we help you? Welcome to the Gold Dragon Inn, travelers! Rest your weary bones!"
Thank you very kindly. And I will say in halfling, could we also get a medic or someone to look at my friend here? He's in a bit of a rough spot right now.
Someone needs to give that fox a toothbrush.
He hit the bar a little too hard, if you catch my meaning.
Ah, gotcha. Woman who speaks halfling, a woman after my own heart. Welcome. I'll be sure to have a House Jurasku medic attend you post-haste. Do you already have reservations at our establishment?
I believe we do, yes.
And she will then look at you guys, and she'll take out a scrying screen, and she'll punch some runes into it, and looks and goes, "Oh, you're the Directorate agents. Welcome. We have definitely got your rooms prepared for you based on our personal evaluations of your individual tastes. We have created the ideal entertainment and relaxation environment."
Paige is completely jaw dropped, looking around.
Remember, sis, confidence.
Confidence. Right. She'll like physically put her hand to her jaw and like push her jaw back up.
We assumed that you would like individual rooms. However, we could have them combined if you were so inclined.
Oh, well, myself and my friend, we'll have separate rooms. I don't know about you two, though, if you prefer separate or together.
Cess looks at you almost kind of like, so like, y'all don't want bunk beds?
Right?
No,
We'd like a room together.
Of course,
so
of course.
That would be 3 rooms then, please.
Yep, she punches some more things into her scrying screen. I will have the attendants take your front to get immediately examined for any ailments, injuries, or other maladies. Would you guys...
Starts to wake up at this point.
Yep.
No, I'm good. Just get me to my bed would be great.
Would you like to go of your own volition, or would you like an escort?
I think I can make it. As he starts to stand up and no longer have to like rely on leaning onto Jubilee.
Oh, I've been carrying you like piggyback style. You are like tucked under my arms.
Could you please let me down now? I love
Gladly.
being in your strong arms.
Yes, Sess.
Yeah, she will drop you, kind of like a hot potato.
Obsidia,
A little
Yes.
softer next time, please.
please tell me if that Litro said that, yes, that orc would have just picked him up and swaddled him like a baby. Please tell me that's what would have happened. Give me that cannon in this time.
That is a possibility for an event that could have occurred.
Noted.
But yeah, she you see her snap a finger, and a golden key with a dragon for like the handle of the key appears in her hand, and she hands it to Litro. She hands it up to Litro because she's like 2 feet tall.
I'm on the ground right now.
She hands it down to Litro because he's on the ground. The half ogre then goes, "Please get off the floor, sir," and picks you up
Give me a
like
moment.
you
I'm
weigh
still-
absolutely nothing,
Thank you.
and then sets you down quite gently.
See, was that so hard? You need to take some points from him.
You don't know how far I've been carrying you. I wouldn't be complaining right now.
Fair enough.
That will take you right to your room, Mr. DeOrian. I hope you enjoy your stay with us.
As I always do.
And then she looks at them.
And
Yes.
no room service, please.
Of course. If you need any attention, pampering, or catering, please feel free to press the rune plates in your room and the arcane intelligence will be able to answer anything you may need.
Says his flashbacks to the train.
And then the halfling looks up at the remaining three and goes, how can we be of service? Would you guys like to go to your rooms? Or would you like to enjoy some of our fine beverages? Perhaps have a meal made?
Well, seeing as I didn't get to eat at the last establishment, yes, I could do with a spotted supper.
I wouldn't mind some food either. I know you already ate, Cess, though.
I always got room. I'm not on weight control anymore. I can eat as much as I want and get as buff as I want.
Okay.
Excellent. And with that, she presses some more runes on her scrying screen, and you see the entire room around you, like, very crisply changes to be a fancy, like, 5-star dining room. And there is a chef preparing food, a little halfling chef.
The jaw drops again.
Well, please feel free to sit anywhere that is not currently taken.
Very good. Are there a lot of people here currently?
There's probably about another maybe 6 people in this dining area. You do notice they are different people that were in the lobby area.
I think Jubilee would sort of motion to the group towards a table that is furthest away from the other guests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. You know, nice private table for a nice close-knit group of buddies.
And the halfling will then, you see them blink from where they were previously standing to where you are now sitting at your table. And she goes, would you care for your own particularly privatized section to engage in any discourse free of any potential oversight or observation?
You know, actually be very convenient. Thank you.
Of course, anything for a guest. And she types into her scrying screen some more, and you see that the rest of the dining room disappears around you guys. And you're in a room that is now probably big enough for just your table and a halfling chef.
Perfect.
Who materializes and she goes, if you need anything, please, and she puts down a screen on your table, please enter in anything you want, and that will cause the chef to materialize into the area.
Thank you kindly. I do appreciate it.
Some pink salmon would be nice.
I thought you went to your room.
I got the key. I never went up there.
Okay, fine. So
I can be up there if you want me to.
No, it's up to you. I do not care.
It's a group dinner, family dinner.
So, and with that she goes, and if you need anything, just press the help button, and I am but a click away.
Before you go, I will certainly be taking a stiff beverage of some variety.
Of course. What would you like?
Any sort of whiskey will be just fine.
Okay, Miss Ravelmont. And she snaps her fingers, and you see a bottle of, very top shelf whiskey appears from Ondair, and a glass with a frozen rock, like a big round rock in the center of it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
And she's just going to, very carefully pour herself a glass and just say to the group, I gotta tell y'all, I'm a little concerned about this case now.
And the halfling will blink away out of existence.
Real quick before we get our brains working, I'm just gonna look at some of the food here. Have y'all ever had this thing called hibaki before?
Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's all right. I mean, it's more about the show than it is the food.
We feeling like show, we feeling like food.
Food. Yeah, because with hibachi, the cook will be here like the whole time.
What about Oh, you know what? Something that even me and Paige got to do back in town. Have you ever had hot pot?
Hot pot?
You mean like those hot pockets?
Listen, y'all were nice to us on the train. You had some fancy food. Paige, you think it's a good idea if we, give them a taste of communal eating?
I think that'd be a good idea.
Sess is going to get up and materialize the chef and instruct him based on certain things, how to prepare it, like what kind of hot pot to prepare, the broth, the different ingredients we'll be getting. Kliffy, you asked for pink fish, yeah?
Salmon would be nice, yes.
Yeah. Salmon, some fish, get some eggs. Like Sess is speaking privately to this person. If you guys want any specific ingredients, just like shout it at her. But
Paige will be like telling her usual, probably like little meatballs and things like that.
Jubilee is happily standing by to see what the heck y'all are concocting.
I'm looking over at both Paige and Jubilee, just being like, what are we about to eat? I have no idea.
Oh, you guys are in for a real treat. It's great. It is.
And yeah, you give the order, and the halfling will blink out of existence. And then you will see that on the center of your table materializes a hot pot, as well as did you intend for the salmon to be a part of the hot pot or separately?
Separately. It is.
Okay.
It's like raw fish. If
Yeah.
if Kliff wants it cooked,
Yeah. So a plate of immaculately prepared salmon fillet with assorted side dishes appears in front of Kliff, with all the accoutrements to eat hot pot for the rest of you, including Kliff.
All right. So when it comes to hot pot, it's as simple as this, and says uses some utensils to put in some ingredients, and then swirls it with the ladle, and then just fishes it back out. It is a cook yourself, feed yourself communal dish. Oh, and as Paige is lifting a boiled egg out, Sess quickly snatches it up with her chopsticks. It is a quite a fun show. She just eats the egg that she stole from Paige.
I understand. This is what folks do when they don't have their own cooks. They gotta cook it themselves. I see. And when they don't, I assume this is if you don't have a kitchen either, you just cook right on the table. It's very smart to make do with what you got.
Well, it ain't about an economy thing. In fact, this is this is usually like a splurge thing.
Yeah, this is more on the higher end.
Yeah,
technically.
Yeah, it's about community. It's about messing with each other. I figured Kliffy Boy would like the chance to try and steal some of our food.
At the suggestion of you can steal each other's food, you see this sort of competitive light in Jubilee's eyes.
Yeah, Paige is already watching Sess's food like a hawk, making sure if they immediately pulls it out of the ladle, she's gonna try to snatch it too.
Now, sis, come on.
Kliff is more or less just kind of picking at it, seemingly not really wanting to eat much at all.
Kliff, you gotta eat something. You've had a hell of an evening.
I apologize, it is not what I expected coming off that train. All that has happened. As well as meeting a war criminal, I have also seen that of 3 kidnappings. 3 child kidnappings and 1 adult kidnapping. And the state of poverty and racism between several different races. It has not been the best day.
Well, you said you wanted to see the real world, didn't you?
That I did.
It seems you and I were finding out it's not as a lot of people imagine or describe it.
A lot of things aren't what people expect, I suppose. It is simply just taken me a moment to fully adjust to it.
What I don't understand is what she was doing here in the first place. Because you said she's a wanted criminal.
Oh, quite highly.
But she seemed to have absolutely no fear of someone cashing in or even attempting to cash in on that bounty.
Well, there's not many people that could. Not to mention, she is currently in neutral territory. She's wanted in every other kingdom but this one right now. And those that are usually strong enough to possibly even take her are very few and far between. I am surprised all of us got out of there alive, honestly.
I mean, I don't think she would have killed us, to be honest with you. When you're fighting someone that strong, they think they're untouchable. They think they're unkillable. So, like, they usually don't mess with small fry.
She would have stomped us as absently as she would have in hat.
She slurps up her noodles and like, well, I mean, yeah, she would have killed us. I'm pretty sure she could have, but, she didn't seem like she wanted to. She seems like she just wanted a dinner or something. I mean, if I couldn't live in a home, if I had to wander the streets, at least I would love one of the few things I would want is a nice board of meat and, like, drinks, yeah?
She struck me more as someone who wanted to throw her weight around. She was provoking us. She wanted a fight started.
You think she's got something to do with the case then? Maybe she's interested.
That's the thing that I'm a little nervous about, is that I don't know how she fits into all this. I mean,
doesn't really fit the MO.
No, she seems
she's very
chaotic.
much more less order and more just rapidly doing whatever she wants. She's not one to hire goons to do one for her. She's just from what we saw of her, she is.
And why would she as a
kitsune,
a fox, a kitsune, why would she want to do away with supernatural beings? It doesn't match up.
I mean, it also doesn't match up with the divine flame we found. I mean, I'm thinking that we just had some bad luck and ran into a shady individual, yeah? I mean, it happened. I mean, have you seen this town?
More likely, yes. That is probably what happened.
Especially since this is mutual ground for her, I don't see why she would try to shake up a place that she's technically allowed in.
Yes, that's why, moving forward, we have to be on our toes. Because she could be around. Like you said, this is neutral territory for her. Who knows where she could turn up.
Well, for now it's neutral territory. If I were wanted everywhere else and I found one place that was neutral to me, I'd try and pick that makes home. If we are not too careful, then you may end up walking in, he does air quotes, her territory from now on.
Right.
And that is not something I would like to do very often.
Two things. First of all, Jubilee, as you're having this conversation, that mark is still on your armor. And Litro, you also remember, based on the stories of the Ashbringers, there are 6 other members of her team.
Do I recall them?
Off the top of your head, not really. You do know that there's 7 of them who survived, which is actually part of the origin of the term. The Battle of Seven Spears was based on the 7 of them that lived. But they... There have been reports in the years after their rebranding of somebody trying to cash the bounty on them, but every claim has always wound up dispelled. Like, somebody said they finally took one down. A few days later, that person winds up dead, basically. And but it's apparently not common since the war ended, for them to all be together. But there are 7 of them as a part of the overall Ashbringer team.
Ashbringer, that's what you said their name.
Yes.
Do I recall any Ashbringers that used holy magic or wore heavy armor or wielded an axe?
You can make another history check for further clarity on this.
Let's see if I don't fuck this up. +0, let's go.
Let's go.
God bless. God bless.
15.
Hey!
Not bad. There are at least 2 members who wore heavy armor. One member used divine magic, but they were not sovereign host or silver flame or anything. They were supposedly a worshiper of the blood of Vol, which
Is that one of the 6?
it's its own religion. It's very popular in Karnath. It's an immortal religion. They basically believe in like a kind of mastery over the self to become a god through your own actions and mastery of your own existence. And so they're big into undeath as a way of allowing them to continue on their journey of perpetual like self-improvement. So he was a cleric of the blood of Vol. The other 2 members, one of them was famously an Eldritch Knight, who was a big warforged, and then there was a Dwarven Artificer who would wear heavy armor. And those are you don't remember their names or much else about them, but those are the 3 that fill the criteria you just said.
Did any of them fly?
It's hard to say which ones specifically could fly because of the fact that so many of them were powerful and many of them were magical practitioners. The Harlequin was famous for flight, as well as the Artificer specifically. He had a particularly magical suit of armor that he would be able to fly around in and shoot lasers and punch people really hard, kind of thing.
Actually, now that I think about it, there were some MMOs that could match the MMO. Or not MMO, the MO.
Final Fantasy XIV!
Critically acclaimed.
The MO of some of these crimes. I do not know if they are with her, but it could be a possible lead if we find nothing at the church.
That could pose a big problem.
Yes, most definitely. Jubilee. No, it was not Jubilee. Sis, you were looking. You were talking about the religion there, the religious magic there. Do you think this could have been part of a necromantic, immortal religion at all? Just from your vibe of the magic that you took?
Your vibe check was just not sovereign host. That was all the criteria you could do as somebody who's not super religious nor a practitioner of divine magic. I think Cess may have walked away. Yep, BRB. So yeah, Cess is not currently here.
Well, I suppose we can't take anything off the table. There's certainly an option. And if she is chaotic as we think she is, then what's more chaotic than starting a racial war?
Right, but why her? Why this harpy? They said she didn't really have many friends. She seemed like a loner, so...
Could be a test to see how far they can really move.
I think all we can do right now is speculate, but now that we have a lead, we could start getting some answers tomorrow, hopefully.
Yes, so it will be the church we're going to tomorrow then?
Well,
The Silver Flame?
we have a couple options. We have the church, and we have the claw marks in the alleyway, leading around the corner.
Claw marks?
Ah! Haha! Kliff, darling, you were knocked out unconscious during that part, weren't you? Yes. Due to, my own investigation skills, we found claw marks and a blood trail. About 6 foot, some inches high, up on the wall in the back alley, on the other side of the peephole.
Do they match those of like a talon of a harpy, or?
I believe
seemed to
so.
be, yes. We can definitely exclude she ran off to pursue her dreams.
Dear. No, I'm thinking of nothing more than flying artifices through the sky. Sorry, apologize. It's another member of the Ashbringers. I do not know if the Silver Flame is anyone capable of flight. Possibly.
Well, I was thinking those are left by the missing harpy. And
Do you think she was dragged out of the sky, or she was dragged up into the sky?
It's hard to say. My gut instinct is, she was probably flying to her safe space. And someone didn't let her. That's my gut instinct anyway.
You do recall one of the clues that you learned from the Dryad site was whoever chopped down that tree was probably a larger humanoid. Based on just how it was chopped down and the foot impressions that you got and stuff, it was probably a big figure, maybe male, maybe not, but somebody who was of a fairly large physique who did it. So just take that into consideration with what you're talking about.
Right, because we saw the footprint, so we can determine at least a general body size.
Yeah. It would probably be somebody, bigger than you guys is is definitely a metric you could do. This person was
Doesn't take much.
Yeah.
I would still definitely like to go check out this church, if nothing more else than just hopefully to cross it off the list of potential subjects, but
Why don't
all
we-
evidence so far points that way.
Well, why don't we start at the church? Because poking around in alleyways in broad daylight, I don't know, that seems a little, conspicuous.
I agree, yeah, we should definitely at least try to eliminate any possibilities. Church will probably be the best place to start.
Are we wanting to go with my plan, or are we wanting to go with another plan? Or do
Well-
we want to add on to my plan and make it even better?
The latter. I think we should do that. Because I do think you should be the person to go on in, and try to sweet talk these people, as you typically do. And I hate to leave you. Listen, I'm a bodyguard, and I hate to leave anybody alone in a dangerous situation. I hate to leave you alone in a room full of potentially dangerous individuals, Kliff. Someone should go with you.
Well, how do I go about this? I do appreciate it. It's just, it may make the deception a little bit worse if I'm going in there as an Orm representative, going in there as a person from basically my family's rivalry, or as well as the two people possibly being the biggest targets in our party.
Can't you use some of your magic? Could you make one of us look like not us?
I can make them invisible, but the disguise self spell, well, it's in the name, it's only on self.
This place said they could provide us anything, right? Maybe we can make up a disguise.
The best I could do is turn you invisible. I know how to use makeup pretty well. If you really wish, I can try and make you look different, but hiding ears and horns and things could be a bit difficult.
Makeover.
So speaks up, and as you all turn to look at her, like while you've been planning, she's eaten all of the beef tripe and beefsteak that was for the hot pot, and just swallows and looks. Well, you see, the thing is, right? We go into a church tomorrow in daylight.
Got to
right?
steal it all.
That's the whole point of Hot Pot. You know what? To make it up for you, have this, and he just slides over a tray of a small amount of wasabi. Yeah, you like that stuff. It's soft looking.
It looks like ice cream.
Yeah, just eat a little bit of it. Eat a little bit of it at a time. I love this stuff personally, but it's in a quiet taste. Now, we're going to a church tomorrow, right? And churches, they do the prayers, the sermons in the morning, yeah?
On certain days.
On some days, yeah, but like
that is not the case of Fantasy World, just to be clear.
Some. As in, I said SOME.
Okay.
Right? There's a good chance, right, that there's gonna be other people there. And you're just going there to talk to the high priestess and other representatives of the Silver Flames.
For the donation box, it's some days as an SUM.
Anyways, I mean, we don't really need that good of a disguise, yeah? I mean, far be from as ashamed as much as I hate it, Jubilee could hide her face with a helmet, and me and Paige can wear some wrappings around our heads. We've done it before, and we can just chill with the procession, other people around. May get a few stares from people we're next to, but we're not gonna be next to the people you're talking to, yeah? That way, we're in the same building, but you won't get mocked for us being too close to you. And if something does happen, we'll just drop our disguises, run in, grab you, get out, and, report them to the police.
That's all fine and dandy. Finding helmets and whatnot to fit around. And she's gonna, do a little swirling motion towards her horns. I can't really do much to hide. And she gestures to the rest of her hot pink face.
She's just so hot, you can't hide it.
Listen. Like I said, I mean, like, some people will, if we sit in the back, like the back of the class, the back of the church, we'll get weird looks from other people there going there to pray, but we won't be next to Kliff, and that's the important part.
Jezebel, I know you are quite used to drawing the eye of many whenever you walk into a room, but if you can get past that, I can possibly turn you invisible, and then you won't have to worry about anything.
When in doubt, Kliff will turn you invisible. That's what his answer to everything.
As long as we're under the...
Well, I'm just saying, this is the one thing I can do to keep you out of sight, is to simply bend the light around you and make sure no one can actually notice you.
As long as we're under the understanding that we're all going together, at least close to one another.
My only fear with that edit, though, is simply, I am not so sure. I mean, I am definitely a charming liar, but I doubt I can get them to spill all the beans. That is also why I wish for someone to see about looking through a few of their private papers, if they may have any.
Well, in that case, let's say... And she's gonna look at Paige and Cess, and then back at Paige. I'm gonna assume, with you being the more delicate of the two siblings, you might be a little more inclined to do things quietly. Why don't Cess and I stay at the back of the church? We'll keep an eye on Kliff. If anything goes south, we're the powerhouses. But you, Paige, would you be alright rummaging through some things?
Think of it like ruffling through the school library after curfew.
I am a fast reader. I suppose I could find something quickly, especially if we're looking for something important.
Honestly, you don't even have to read through the whole thing. Whatever you may find, just tuck it away. Bring it with you.
On a scale of 1 to 20, how confident are you in your ability to be stealthy?
Very confident. I can be stealthy. Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Especially if she can't be seen.
Mm.
As long as we're doing it in the
original
daytime.
plan.
Hypothetically, if I would roll 1d20 right now, how do you think you'd do it?
Let's say your abilities had scores.
Alright, I think I think that sounds like a wonderful plan, and thank you for wanting to continue working on the plan I presented and making it better.
Yeah, it's constructive criticism.
What teamwork is all about, right?
Exactly. That's
Speaking
why
of
we need
teamwork,
more. That's why we need more minds from different places to add on and make things better. Now, I think it is time we all rest up for the night so we are ready for the morning. I reach in
Yes.
and I grab the one thing of noodles that hasn't been taking it.
I'm assuming we've used all the ingredients by this point.
Yep, there could always be more ingredients appearing. Like, as you use stuff, like, things will appear, and if you don't seem to use them after a little bit, they'll disappear again.
Alright, I'll, once the party's finished eating, Says just downs the whole bowl of broth, whatever's left in there.
It's all
Paige is
delicious.
actually gonna lean across the table and snatch the noodle from Kliff.
Make a sleight of hand check, opposed sleight of hand check for this noodle.
Can I assist her by making a show of me slurping an entire pot of soup in front of them?
See, you can, but Kliff is a natural bamboozler, so he would have like a counter advantage to this. So.
Oh, you got a nat 1?
Oh, you hate to see it.
I rolled a 7.
There you go. You managed to beat him. So Kliff is he's still out of it. His big brain time. And in the noodle initiative off, fucking Paige is able to snatch it like a thief in the night.
Cat burglar over here.
Yep. Smug slurping ensues.
Think of it as a swift stride initiation.
I've never felt more cheated in my entire life.
Maybe you'll get a little glimpse of what Sess and I have gone through.
Check your privilege.
I have a letter to write. Good night, all of you.
All right.
Head up to my room.
Yep. As you leave the table, you find yourself phased back into like the lobby area, and there's the open staircase to take you up to your room.
There are 2 things I want to do before I go to bed, but I'll wait until it's my turn.
Okay. The remaining 3, what do ye do?
Jubilee will, just quickly but politely say goodnight to the siblings and go on up to her room.
Yep.
And she actually got from Kliff last episode a mystery box. And yeah, she didn't want to open it in front of everyone else in the event that it's like some sort of
prank
box. She doesn't want to like make a fool of herself and give Kliff that satisfaction. So she has waited until she's had a moment alone to open the box.
Okay.
When you open up the box, what you see inside is a small note that simply says, "Sorry, sometimes I can just be a bit jealous of all the more style you have than me." And underneath that card is a small ring of rose gold, and embedded into it is a quartz gem carved to look like that of a rose.
She's doing exactly what I'm doing and is like trying to process this. And like she puts it down, paces the room a little bit, stares out the window, has a crisis, goes back to the box, picks up the ring, admires it. She genuinely likes it, puts it back, paces the room some more, and all the while her face is like turning, I don't know what like pink turns when it blushes, but it's like magenta, I suppose. And she'll just, for now at least, keep the ring in the box, shut it, put it in the drawer of her nightstand, and attempt to go to sleep.
Okay. Kitties. What do you kitties do?
Personally, I'm a fan of Bed Bath and Beyond, not necessarily in that order. Paige, is there anything you wanted to do?
No, I like the idea of the bath bed and beyond. But definitely as they go lie into bed, even if there are 2 separate beds, she's gonna, like a little kid during a
Aw.
thunderstorm, crawl into Sessa's bed, and just kind of cuddle up against her.
Aw.
Yeah, Cess definitely like crashed first on her bed, and the situation usually is like Cess goes to sleep first, but then wakes up first to see her sister like that. Doesn't do anything for a bit until she wakes up. Yeah.
One of the things that, like, when you get to your room, this is the nicest room you've ever seen in your lives. It is immaculately tailored to basically what you would think is like the fanciest room, which ironically is not as fancy as it could be because it's based on your own perceptions. But like anything that you could desire is in here. And everything is perfectly tailored to your tastes. The bed is just the right level of firmness. The temperature is just right, etc. And if you ever feel like it should be different, it slowly changes.
Magic's stupid, and I crash in my bed.
I think Paige is, as she's getting ready for bed, doing that awkward, like, putting her belongings in, like, this tiny little corner.
Mhm.
You know, she doesn't feel like it belongs there. But,
On the flip side, Cess's belongings are just all over the floor.
yeah, they're all neat and organized. She definitely takes a moment to process the room, kind of smiling at herself, but before she goes to lie into bed, she'll kind of whisper, I'm glad you're safe. I was really scared today, but I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we're out of Sharn.
Cess is fully unconscious at this point, but almost as if like instinctively in response, you like feel her hand go up your body and like pat you on the head whilst you're cuddling and sleeping.
Rub into the head pad a little and just completely give in to the exhaustion.
Okay. Kliff, what did you want to do with your final things before Snoozeroo?
2 things.
Yeah.
One, I am writing a letter to the station Paige and Cess got picked up on.
Okay.
Basically demanding the person that treated them so poorly write them an apology or them be fired.
Uh-huh.
And for him also to go through a seminar to learn about how racism is bad.
Oh my god, love it.
Amazing.
All right, so yeah, you could write that. You could drop it off at the House de Civis messaging station over by the railway, and they will arcanogram it over to Sharn.
Second thing I want to do. When I first entered the room was very much of how Kliff's home back was at his manor.
Yep.
Where his sisters, his mother, and his father all are. But as he's about to sit down for bed, he knows it's not right. And because of the magic of the room, it turns to what he would find comfortable in that moment.
Okay.
And that would be a small alleyway. It's a bundle of hay for a bed that looked out into a city square where there is a well. It is there he is able to sleep like he feels normal. And as he falls into sleep, he starts to dream of Kliff de Oren. Hello, Kliff. I had a wonderful day today. Well, at least it started wonderful. So many things I need to tell you about. I met 2 brand new people today. They are quite fine. One of them is a bit hard-headed, but I feel like if ever you need a rock, they are going to be the rock for you. And I go on and I explain to Kliff about all that happened that day.
You see a small pink-haired child looking back at you, very, very interested in all of these adventures and characters.
I continue to explain to him, and I wait for anything he may add or anything he may want to do. I eventually go from that sleep into a proper sleep until I wake up the next morning.
Yep. And the child will, sit down next to you on the hay and will just kind of stroke your hair as you fall asleep. And that's how it goes down. So with this, you all wake up in the morning. What approximate times do you all want to wake up?
Jubilee is kind of a crack of dawn kind of gal.
Okay.
So she'll be up very early.
Okay. Kitties.
Paige is also very much that way of trying to get up as early as possible.
Okay. CS. I think Seth stepped away, so Kliff.
Kliff is probably going to be the latest to wake up. He's very much a laid-back kind of guy whenever he can be. And without anyone to give him a wake-up call, he would sleep through as much as he can until maybe the people at the Gold Dragon Inn would be like, "Wake up call."
You'll receive a courtesy. Basically, a spirit appears in your room and informs you, Lord Orion, it is rapidly approaching later in the morning. This is your friendly reminder that your associates are downstairs waiting for you.
Okay. Just give me a moment to put on my face.
Of course, Lord Orion. And with that, the spirit disappears. Everybody else, you go downstairs. You're back in a private restaurant space, and there is the breakfast menu appearing. But there you also see that there is a caveat that if you would like anything not listed on this menu, please just enter it into the scrying screen, and it will be prepared for you.
Oh goodness.
I request a Pop-Tart.
Singular Pop-Tart, so they have to open the bag and give you just one of them?
I want one cherry and one chocolate fudge.
Oh my god.
There will be magically created Pop-Tarts for you of corresponding flavors.
And heated in the microwave, not too long to where they break open, but just long enough to where they're nice and warm.
Yes.
Yum.
Everyone else can have whatever they want for breakfast.
Oh man, Sess, she's gonna order for Sess, so it's gonna be bacon and sausage and breakfast steak.
I don't just eat meat, sis. I have a balanced, nutritious breakfast.
I thought you were off your diet.
I am, but I still gotta be fit. I also need my fiber, unless you want me to take 20 years in the bathroom before you nap.
No, I wasn't thinking that at all.
Licks your forehead.
Gonna put a piece of bacon in your mouth.
Jubilee probably has the classic British style breakfast. Very hearty but well-rounded with, eggs and meats and beans and veggies and
spotted
toast.
dick.
Yeah. Yep.
Got some of that, eggy in a basket. And but yeah, you all have delicious breakfasts and Pop-Tarts. And with that, you can suit up and head back into town.
Right, well.
Mhm. The church first, right?
Yeah, do we have a means to cover our heads?
If you would like some sort of disguise kit, perhaps, the Gold Dragon Inn will provide you with one within the premises.
Could we
Fabulous.
flavor text our disguises? Like, I think Cess suggested for at least her and Paige, like, the robes and scarves to cover their stuff. Or just scarves, like, we could wear, like, head scarves to cover our ears.
You know that headscarves are very common amongst elven fashion, because the elves of Cover, the Valinar, they're basically Middle Eastern elves. So all of that attire is very common amongst the wood elves of this continent.
Yeah, I'm thinking some elven fashion, as it says in this catalog, Jubilee. I need your thoughts on this.
I think that'll be just fine. I myself might need something of a sturdier fabric, so there's no obvious horn shapes coming out of the drapery. But yes, I think that'll do just fine.
We could decorate your horns like a headdress, right? Give you a nice veil, maybe? I don't know.
There's not many
I don't know
veils
how-
nowadays.
Who's your
I feel like they're going out of fashion.
If you constantly tease your hair, so it's like really, really poofy.
Oh, I don't know about that. You see, it already took a lot of work in this humidity to get it to look the way it does.
Jubilee, you look great, but the thing is, we need you to not look great so you don't draw many eyes.
She's just gonna like blink for a little bit, and as if she doesn't understand how to go about doing what you just asked.
Make a
Jubilee.
Sorry.
Okay. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, make deception checks for whoever is donning these disguises on people, doing the makeup and stuff.
I think Cez would try to keep it simple with just the cloth stuff, and like she definitely say that like I think the three of us definitely need glasses because our eyes are kind of dead giveaways. Like look like these, and she whips out her sunglasses.
I didn't even think.
Are you
about
wearing
that.
glasses?
Am I putting all this on everyone?
You're probably the best at it.
All right, 3 deception checks then.
Or you just do one for all of them, either way.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna do 3.
Okay. In light of that, 9.
I'll take the 9.
18. And 19. Alright, everybody but
All right.
Cess. Cess looks the most, Cess-like out of all of it. There's only so much you can cover up all the spikes.
It's the literal sketches I put on the Roll20.
So you put a nice mustache and monocles on. So we got
No, just big goofy glasses and much bigger eyebrows, mustache and everything.
All right, you were
No,
all attired.
it's probably I'm just doing my best to cover up the non-humany bits.
Gotcha. Yep.
I'm trying to whitewash the entire cast.
Wow. What are you, Disney?
Ayo.
Ayo!
So, yeah, everybody gets various levels of disguisery put on, and you head to the church.
Let's go.
Here we go! It's just a few minutes walk to get to the Chapel of the Silver Flame. It's, as I said when you first came to the city, it's not very big. It is very heavily constructed. Like, this thing is obviously could resist some level of attack. Which everybody knows is common knowledge about the Silver Flame, is that they build every one of their churches to be a potentially fortified emplacement of defense. So they are all well-armored buildings. But it is, once again, it is not very big. So as you come up, the doors are currently closed, but it doesn't appear to be locked in any way. It's just they're shut. Do you open the door?
Yeah, I will go ahead and open up the door. I think everyone else is wanting to enter separately so they don't look connected to me.
Okay. So you open the door. Inside the room, directly leading from the doorway, this room is constructed somewhat amphitheater-like in the sense of there are stone pews to the left and right of the room that kind of half circle around a central brazier that is alight with silvery flame. It's very clearly mage light flame. And then there is a stone mosaic in the floor of the silver flame arrowhead, holy symbol of the religion, that leads towards the brazier itself. There is an altar on the far side of the building, where above it is what looks to be some kind of weapon stand, and the place is empty except for one person. You hear faintly metallic clicking as you look in, and you see that there is a hobgoblin woman wearing like white robes with silver filigree and stuff along the sleeves and everything. And it has an arrowhead woven into the back of it in the style of the silver flame. And she is holding a strung longbow as she proceeds to move around the center of the chapel in a series of fluid, almost dance-like positions as she readies the bow in various stances and positions of combat, as she just kind of is dancing and twirling in these particular ways around the brazier. And every time one of her feet hits the ground, you hear that same metallic clatter. One of her arms appears to be armored, and both of her feet appear to be armored, but her left arm is green as her goblin skin, and part of her face has been what appears to be burned off, peeling back part of her mouth to be in a perpetual kind of sneer, and one of her eyes is heavily scarred where it appears to be a kind of crystal or glass eye inserted into it with maybe a small garnet gem at the center of it. Her hair is pulled back into a black ponytail with silver, probably from age, threads going through it. And as she moves through this, she is kind of doing a low chant, and the room smells of incense. And as you finally enter, she finishes whatever she was doing, kneels in front of the altar, and begins ritually unstringing the bow. What do you do?
I didn't want to interrupt that amazing description, but I did want to say before I entered, I did want to cast, when nobody was around, invisibility on Paige.
Okay. I'm assuming Paige isn't going to resist, so she doesn't have to make a check. So, yeah, with that, she's unstringing this longbow, and then she places it in the weapon rack above the altar. You do know that the bow is like the holy weapon of the Silver Flame.
Okay. Orin family symbol out. The badge I have tucked underneath my vest as I start to walk forward. Not wanting to really interrupt or seem rude or anything, and patiently wait for her to finish up her prayer.
Okay. Once she has put the bow away, she will turn on her heels to look at you. Looks at your symbol. It's hard to tell what kind of face she's making because half of it is always sneering at you, and you just see, kind of... Some of her teeth have been replaced by, in the side that's sneering, have been replaced by metal or silver. And she looks at you with that glass eye, which does actually move as she looks around. And she looks at you and kind of narrows her eyes and goes, "Have you come seeking the faithful?"
Well, more or less, actually, yes. Apologies, I did not mean to interrupt whatever it was you were doing. Some type of ceremony. It was quite beautiful, I must say.
So you don't follow the Silver Flame, is what I'm hearing.
Well, no, but I would like some advice from it, if you do not mind. So, I hope I am not causing too much trouble.
What is it you want, noble boy?
Well, you see, I am actually on business here. I come from the station in town. You probably know my family owns the lightning rails.
I don't need your introduction about your entire family history. What brings you here talking to me now? And now you hear why everyone says she's kind of a bitch.
Yeah, while this is happening, Paige is already
Sneaking in?
entering. Yeah, and like hugging the sides of the walls as they're talking, just trying to get to a separate room.
Okay. What about Cess and Jubilee?
Would we have wanted to sit together, or are we separated?
Oh.
I'm checking with Jubilee.
I would think we would be still separate, but like in close proximity, but not like sitting next to each other.
So we're like pews that are like towards the back or front, but like opposite side,
Yeah.
opposite alleyways.
So where it's just for context of it, so there's like the entryway mosaic, and then all the pews are along the sides of the room, and she is standing in the center next to the brazier.
Yeah, that Jubilee would pick one that's closest to the door, so like hugging the wall.
3 people coming in this morning. This is the most people I've seen in here in weeks.
Look, back on topic. I'm here because I need advice. I am here because there are a bunch of racist assholes working at my station, and I am trying to learn out how to deal with them. And I have recently learned more about the Silver Flame, about how you have already started to deal with similar problems, and I am hoping you would be amazing enough to tell me exactly how you are dealing with them.
You want me to teach you diversity and inclusion training?
More or less, yes.
Don't you people have, I don't know, servants to do this thing for you? Or are they too beneath you to be able to address the needs of others?
It can be a little complicated considering there are many of us spread out everywhere. And this is kind of my first job. It gives a small, kind of like, what are you gonna do?
The lost little noble boy wants to understand the locals.
Is that so wrong?
No, you're probably just going to try and exploit them like everyone else does here.
Well, if you give me proper advice, then I probably won't.
I'm glad to see I'm the one thing stopping you from exploiting the people of Drome.
Oh, I'm sorry this is becoming a horrid conversation, but please, I would love for this to take a different direction. I am sorry you have dealt with horrible nobles in the past. I am simply curious about... Well, I've heard of horrible things going on in the city recently. Are you dealing well with such things?
You two, what do you want? As she
completely ignore me.
She looks at the other 2 people. She's tapping her foot, and as you look at it, it looked like she was armored, but no, her feet and her right arm appear to be literally made of metal and moving.
Just a small note: is she of similar size to the what's the word I'm looking for?
The potential assailant.
Yes.
She's probably about 5'10", so she's shorter than whoever was the target of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so she looks at you 2.
I speak and says, I got some questions, but I can wait my turn.
Do you need training too on the locals?
What?
Why are you
Could you
here?
Could you? I can't hear you all the way. I'll come to you, and I get up very slowly, trying to buy as much time for me.
She then promptly phases you out of existence and turns to look at Jubilee. What do you want?
It's a quiet spot, if you don't mind. You're disrupting my prayers.
Good. Then you can mind yourself. Attend to whatever gods you do. This is a place of understanding, a place of love, and a place of community. And then she turns back to look at Kliff.
Just give a smile.
Yes, it has been tragic hearing what has been going on in the city. It is truly unfortunate. It was only a matter of time, though. The way that these people view the denizens of Greywall is disgusting. I'm not surprised. Bunch of heathens that these people are. The people of Greywall at least don't know any better. The ones from the kingdom should. They should know better. And I, of course, get sent here from Thrain because I would be the best person to speak to the locals because I'm one of them. I speak Goblin, yada yada yada. And I'm here and I try to do my best, and yet I have to deal with this kind of... And she seems to be about to curse and goes... And then she's, kind of closes her eyes for a moment. She can't close her right eye, the one that's the crystal. It looks like her eyelid is also been removed. And she goes, "The flame has lit my path to take me here to spread the word of its of its silvery beneficence, and I do what I can every day."
You get a lot of people complaining about Greywall here?
Well, they don't come into my church. Very few people ever come into my church. Most of them follow the sovereign host, or they don't really care. They don't feel like actually learning something about themselves and about how to live a righteous life. But that's their decision. I'm not here to deal with them. Only when some traders come in do I deal with them. Mostly I try to deal with the locals.
Who are the people that keep talking bad of the Grey?
I walk around the Enclave. I know what people say. I see all the mercenaries that have been coming in since this started. They just want the blood. They've always just wanted the blood of these people.
Do you think these mercenaries are the ones that are kidnapping those people? Should I be worried about people going to the station?
She kind of shrugs and goes, "Oh, I think at this point, there's not really anything anyone can do short of finding those kids to stop this crisis. I know that in only a matter of days, they will come here looking for what's rightfully theirs, and these people will go and try and kill them, because they don't like when people from another culture go in and tell them what to do."
I must say, I am most certainly worried about this. I'm just trying to buy as much time as I can for Paige, mostly.
Okay.
As I more or less go around in circles asking about these same people.
All right.
I have
Paige.
stuff to talk about too, but Paige.
Yeah, Paige, you can work your way. You see this interaction happening. You work your way.
Time to think.
Yeah, there's a back, just a back door. This door is very sturdy, but it doesn't appear to be locked. It doesn't seem like this lady has to deal with many people in her chapel, so she doesn't really have a reason to lock it. You can now make a stealth check to try and be as casual as possible, closing that door, opening and closing the door.
Okay, all right.
And we are giving a pretty good distraction as well.
Yeah.
Does invisibility help with that, or is this just?
This is more of an auditory thing,
Got it.
because it's the door more than just looking at her.
Okay.
Invisibility gives you advantage on all sight-based stealth.
Yeah, this isn't really a sight-based thing right now.
Yeah, this is more sound.
Yeah.
All right. Gonna go ahead and I'm checking a spell. I should have checked this already.
Classic wizard.
Yeah, of course. I was considering using Fortune's Favor on myself.
If you're gonna cast a spell, now's the chance.
Yes, it lasts an hour, so I probably would have done it before we walked in, just in case my roll.
No,
gets
you do
fun.
not want to cast a spell. Because if
Okay.
you do, invisibility will disappear.
All right.
Okay, so I will.
I would
leave
have
it
told
there.
you this.
All right, so
She should
let's
also
see.
know how invisibility works as a wizard.
Yeah. Okay, let's just roll stuff. Oh, we love a nat one! Yay!
Yay!
Yay.
So as you're
Oh,
opening
no.
and closing the door very audibly creaks open and very audibly closes. And as Ray is ranting at you, you see her head just snap on a swivel to look at that door.
I immediately try and like get it like, oh, it must be quite gusting here. Anyway,
Shut up, noble boy! And she starts turning on her heel to walk towards the door. Paige, you are inside the room.
Hey, she's gonna take Jubilee's advice and just kind of quickly go through and see if she can gather any pieces of paper. Is there anything lying around, and specifically, or if she opens a drawer, can she just kind of hastily gather some?
Here's your trade-off. You can make a perception check to do a quick look, or you could do an investigation, but it will take more time.
Okay.
I'm going to
I'll probably just-
stealthily. Oh, sorry.
No, I'll probably just try to do it rather quickly, so
Okay.
I won't do it.
Make a perception.
Okay. Okay, 16.
Okay, so in your quick look around, you see a suit of what appears to be a breastplate of armor, along with a sword and a bow. There is a desk where there appears to be some papers on it. In common, some of them have a they have notes on them. Like, you do a real quick look at it, they look to be sermons with lots of things like crossed out of and rewritten. There is a holy tome on her desk, and as you're just quickly looking around, you like slide open one drawer, and you see that it contains just more papers. These appear to not have the silver flame stamp on them and are written in Goblin. And that is what you see with your quick look around.
Sure. Okay. Or-
While the priestess is walking towards that door and they're facing away from me, I want to stealthily prepare stealthily prepare a silent image.
Okay. Of
Just in case.
Of what? Oh, you're just preparing the cast.
Yeah, I'm preparing to cast.
Okay.
For when she goes to open up the door.
Okay.
Yes.
Jubilee and or Cess, is there anything you want to do when you see this go down? You very clearly see the door open and close, as Paige was not very good at that. And you see that the high priest, or the priestess, she's not a high priest, the priestess walked towards the door with a brisk military fashion.
Mari?
Let's see.
I have a thing, but
You do your thing.
you sure? You sure?
Yes.
So I don't want to ruin any plans.
No, I have 0 plans.
Cess did actually want to talk to her, but
You emphasized how slowly you were getting up as this was going on.
But like as I see her turn around, I start to hurry, and I want to say something, and I don't know if this is a roll or more so you just deciding if this is shocking enough for her to hear. But I shout at, I basically try to get her attention. Like, let me try to word this right. You all comfortable in the silver flames, or are you getting harassed too? Sorry, I was working up the courage to ask you that.
She kind of like stops and looks at you very confused and goes, "What are you even talking about?"
Listen, I try to like hurriedly walk closer so we can talk.
You still have that scarf on your head.
With that fucking 7 with that
9.
like,
It was a 9.
9 disguise. Yeah, that 9 disguise. I like look at her and say, "Well, I think you can tell I'm not just." She lowers the headscarf and listen, I'm from Sean, and listen. I don't try to judge a group based on the people I've had to deal with from said group, but the people from there, from the Silver Flame sect in Sean, weren't exactly the kindness to me based on how I looked. But I was in this town for business, and I heard that the priestess for the Silver Flame was a hobgoblin. I didn't even realize that such a thing could be a thing, and I just wanted to I wanted to see if the treatment I had received back in my city was a more universal thing or not.
Her one eyebrow that's still there kind of like flies up as she sees you approach her saying these things. "What are you even talking about? Of course there are hobgoblins in the Silver Flame. The church is welcome to all races and peoples."
I was hearing you shouting at the pink boy over there. You didn't come here by choice, yeah?
I go where the flame guides me.
And how did the flame tell you to come here?
My superior told me to set up shop here.
I look at her. I get used. I'm used to my. I used to have superiors like that too. She looks at her, kind of sad.
Who are you? You don't appear to be a follower of the faith.
No, I'm a follower of. And as the player pulls out his notes, I'm a follower of Boldre, but I'm not really religious. I'm more in it for the community, getting to know people, and the Silver Flames community. She says, wiping a tear from her eye, because these are really bad memories for her to bring up. They weren't the kindest to me and my family. I don't want to get into details right now, especially because we're talking in a public space, but I just wanted to see, I wanted to see what it was like in the opposite situation, because you're the only Silver Flame member out in this town. Now you're by yourself versus where I was by myself, and I just wanted to see how it was going for you.
She kind of
was just wondering.
Looks between you and looks between the door for a moment, and goes, "Did you hear something?"
Yes, yeah, I hear the sound of you two, 3, constantly talking and interrupting my prayers. So, if please, and she'll just bow her head and continue to pray.
My mother did always say I have a big mouth.
So she now turns her back to the door as she looks at Sess. She's probably, 3 feet in front of the door.
Do y'all have any confessional booths or something like that?
That is not really our way. You believe in communal things. We are a communal faith.
Okay. Well, I look at Kliff and said, "Sorry, Pinky, for interrupting. I promise."
No, you go ahead.
Listen, oh wait, hold on. Sorry. My actual IRL family is calling me. I am so sorry, Obsidian.
Okay.
In that case, it's probably a good time to cut back to Paige.
Yeah, Paige. So that is, you hear her voice on the other side of the door as you grab whatever papers and stuff you are.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna try to go for the more handwritten, maybe not as formal things.
Okay.
But probably at least grab a few that are branded with the Sacred Flame.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you want to do now? You have them.
There's no window.
There's not a window in this room.
Okay.
And try stealth round 2.
Yeah.
Note that the papers turn visible when you pick them up, just so you know.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll try to, or I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't want to cast anything, so I'm just gonna try to stealth again.
Okay.
Well, no, I disabled our wizard.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I only know spells.
This is my thing.
I'm proficient in stealth. Okay.
Sometimes you roll a 1. That's life.
I believe in you.
Thank you. Okay, let's try it again. Come on, 14.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a d20 to see what I get. Okay.
By the way, as soon as the door opens, if she were to look over that way, she would see a cat run right out. Not cat as in, but like an actual house cat run out and towards like the stands.
Seeing a cat appear from behind her, she is now extra alerted. That's not something that's supposed to.
That's only if she were to look back, and it is a silent image.
Yeah. Well, so she's talking to Cess. A cat then appears behind her and moves past her. She will. Upon seeing the cat, Paige will be able to open the door and very carefully slip out as you close the door. Ray basically spins around to look at it because that should not be possible, and sees the door is closed and looks at you guys and starts squinting her eye at you. I don't know what kind of tricks you're playing, but what do you want?
Perhaps I've come to the wrong place to learn about racial inclusion. Perhaps I should just leave. And I slowly start to back away towards the front door of the church.
Yeah, she just narrows her eye at you.
I am sorry for any discomfort I may have caused from my presence. Think of it as a 10% discount on your next train ride. Goodbye.
The church is always available for anyone who seeks it, as she shouts at you as you leave.
I'm an atheist.
And Cess is unavailable. And with that,
as I do leave, I do maybe accidentally leave the door open in case any invisible person may want to walk out.
Holding paper. Holding floating paper.
Thank you.
But yeah, she would say some stuff to Cess potentially, but Cess is not here. So perhaps this is a good place to end for tonight.
We didn't get to any combat.
Since we're just about 3 hours. Oh, I know why everybody was talking about how unfriendly and abrasive this lady is. Good old Ray Ninian. But yeah, so I think we will wrap.
They just got back.
Did Sif really just get back right now? All right.
I picked a hell of a time, didn't
God
I?
damn it. All right. Well, I was just saying since you weren't here, she was gonna say some stuff to you, but you weren't here, so we'd end it. But all right. So all this stuff happened. Kliff basically left. Paige snuck out, and she is glaring at you and goes, "You're not with that noble boy, were you?"
I mean, did I walk in with him? I'm sorry if that caused you to be confused. But I more so wanted to talk about this stuff in private, because the noble types don't really get our play, yeah?
Exactly. So what is it you exactly want?
I just came to see how things were like for you, because even though the Silver Flames I did know didn't treat me well, I can't imagine it's been easy being the only one of your kind out here.
It is frustrating how unwilling to see the light these people are.
There's no one else in this town with you with a connection to the Silver Flame like that? No one else you could relate to, or not even someone with similar, I don't know, magics you could relate to or something?
No. There are only very rarely traders from the kingdoms that come here who are adherents to the flame. Most people seem unwilling to deal with the dromish if they are adherents, which of course is an ignorant and foolish belief. I am here to help enlighten them, to show that the flame embraces all, but they continue to adhere to their heathen gods and the Six, and so I just try to do my best to lead by example. I know that the people in this enclave are a waste of my time, because they're all just so obsessed with just money and whatever petty rivalries and bigotries they may have. I was raised in Thrain. I know what it is like to be always a member of the faith and how it embraces all.
Thank you. Listen, I don't want to... Well, I was going to say I don't want to keep you, but I feel like you take that the wrong way. But, I got to get back to that business, and, I hope things work out for you here, okay?
She grunts. Just says, can't believe people think that I'm somehow hostile. Not like a fucking seeker. And then she closes her eye for a moment after she said fucking and goes, and she tries to put her hands up in front of her and pray for a moment, holding her holy symbol.
Well, with that, I'll head out of the building now.
Okay. And then
Just to
Jubilee.
Yes, to cement the idea that she was not a part of this party, she will linger for several minutes and then just slowly get up, acknowledge, nod in the priestess direction, and then walk out.
She nods and goes, may the flame guide your path.
She'll just nod again, smile pleasantly, and leave.
Okay. With that, everybody has departed the church.
Did you get anything? As I look at the invisible spot where I'm pretty sure Paige is.
Well, you see the pages Paige is holding.
No, they're invisible too.
I thought they were because they were not on her when she was made invisible.
No, anything she picks up turns invisible.
Okay, so yeah. So it's all invisible.
Oh, I got a few things. Hopefully good things.
Oh, good, because I got crap all.
I'm gonna give a very, as the kids say, a hot take. I don't think she's got anything to do with our culprit, at least.
I don't either.
At least
I
not.
have two theories so far, just from that conversation in there. One, someone is trying to frame the church because they really don't like them in this area. I wonder why. Or two, it is just a red herring and we are way off the mark.
Jubilee, I thought you wanted to say something.
Well, I suppose a third option would be she herself may not be directly involved, but I don't know. Other people might be in the organization. But I don't get the impression that she herself has much to do with it.
Let's see those papers that you got, Paige. Can you, what do they say?
Well, only some of them are written in common. A lot of it is in Goblin.
Oh, it's lucky for you that I am fluent.
I mean...
Many tradesmen speak the language. It comes in handy. I drop invisibility on her.
Okay, she is
Over
now
a safe
visible.
location. Let me see those goblin papers.
Sure. Yeah, she's gonna gladly hand them over.
And I will start reading through them.
Yeah, she grabbed probably about 6 papers. They are written in very crisp, almost dictation-like writing, and it appears to be most of them are just letters back to the church talking about the issues that she is. Or actually, these are the goblin ones. So no, these aren't the letters back to her. So these are letters back to what appears to be different Templars is who they're addressed to. It'll say like Templar blah blah blah's name, and she signs them all. You know, priest, or I guess it would be Lightbearer Ray. And so there's a bit of casualness to it, but she's basically talking about how this place is full of a bunch of heathens, and she's doing her best to lead by example. But, you know, sometimes she wonders if, you know, she lost what was the good part of her back in Karnath to that glyph walker, and if she just maybe misread the light and the flame that said this was the path for her. So there seems to be that kind of doubt. But then the letters in common are to the church talking about how, you know, she's been making all these efforts to help these people, and she definitely feels like she's getting stymied by the local priesthood of the Dark Six within the city. She feels like all of the international people are a bunch of bigoted exploitationists. And you know, she kind of just goes, this whole cause is a lost cause despite her best efforts. So those are the kind of notes you see. Yeah.
Well, it appears you have stolen a lot of personal letters.
Oh no.
No, this is good. This proves that she is innocent. At least as
Well,
far as...
that scratches one suspect off.
All we know is divine fire, yeah?
Divine fire, metal boots, tall person. I just can't help but think. I just
We
can't help
have
but
one
think
more-
actual... As if someone was trying to set it up, as if they were purposely placing clues to lead back to her. The burn mark, working in a church, having metal feet and arms.
Well, with a personality like that, she's bound to make a few unhappy acquaintances.
At least we
Perhaps.
have another place to check, though. We still have our options open.
Yes. Now let us go before the god smites us for stealing from his church.
Oh no.
Don't worry about it, sis.
People
God
misplace letters all the time.
And they can be rewritten. And I suppose we start walking off to, if I am not incorrect, if I
Back
pull up
towards
the
So you can go back to the alleyway, or you can go to the site of the town square kind of thing.
Yeah,
the
Mm.
second
Leo
person
Pat-
just.
we're Leo
Rebel
Trixie, yeah.
celebration, one of the Dark Six's holy days.
Yep.
She was separated from her mother in a crowd and not seen again. This occurred 5 days ago, now 6 days ago, because we slept.
Yep.
And we have today and tomorrow until all hell breaks loose.
Yep.
Well,
So if you want to catch that, watch next week.
All right. So yeah, if everybody is fine ending here, I don't know if anybody wants to continue right now. It is past our normal time. I'm just saying, if anybody wants to, we can. But otherwise, I can wrap things up.
Nice bow on it.
Okay. So, I want everybody to know, thank you all for coming here tonight. I hope you enjoyed it as hijinks ensued. Their questions begot more answers, which begot more questions. And they encountered a devious fox of unknown power and unknown motive. But they don't seem to be any closer to solving this crime from when they first began. I want you all to definitely come out and check out these wonderful players on their own Twitch channels. As well as check out the charity link. This is the last stream I will be doing during the charity fundraiser this month. Also remember that Sif is having a birthday stream this Saturday. Big night birthday. You'll love to see it. And then if you guys haven't done so, please give me a follow here on Twitch. Give me a sub over on YouTube. You can also sub to our specific YouTube just for the VODs of this channel that I have just posted, which I will create a Nightbot link for. You can also follow me on Twitter, and you can join my Discord, the Eternal Citadel, and be a part of our incredible community. I really appreciate you all for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you enjoyed the story as we continue to probe deeper into the quest of the Forlorn Hope. Hopefully, our intrepid adventurers and noble heroes will be able to solve this mystery and avert this crisis. All right, everybody, let us get our raid ready. If you are a follower, please copy down the call to hugs. If you're a sub, please copy down the knight's message. We are going to raid.
We got Bunny, and there's also another person I'm watching who I enjoy Snareline art.
Yeah, I was actually...
unless you want to do a person who's also doing the charity.
I think I rated them last time. But, okay, who's this Lightheart person? I don't think I've ever rated them before. Yonder person. If you want to post it somewhere. Litro.
Oh, the Snareline art?
Yeah, I don't know who this person is.
Yeah, sorry. You just said yonder person. I was like, oh, did they find someone?
No.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put their name into the
Okay.
Twitch chat.
Snareline art. Aha! Alright, so let us raid this person I do not know, but Litro vouches for them, and that's good enough for me. If anything goes wrong, you can blame Litro.
They are a very sweet artist, I promise.
Okay, so let's go send him lots of love, and I hope you all have a wonderful night and the sweetest of dreams. I will see you guys all on Friday. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.